sometimes somebody runs to the bathroom, and they might have got here at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then one time they went to the bathroom. There you go, right there. So open the door right there. So we're gonna count from 10 to 1, and then we lock it. Okay? It doesn't matter. It locks when I say it locks. Open the door. Hey. Open the door. Okay, let's go 10 count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's people that got here at 6:30. Follow me? And there's people that have been working all night that got here at 6:30. So you're your associate showing up at 9:11. I don't really care. You watch it somewhere else. Okay? All right, cool. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Great. You guys doing well? You guys excited? Yes. You know, it's funny because I was thinking about this. I should open it. It just teases them. Anyway, I was thinking about when I was pulling out. We did this at an office in Ontario, right? So I called Marlette. This was years ago. This was probably 2005, 2006. And I called Marlette and I said, hey man, let's just do like an emergency meeting, boot camp style, BFS training, A to Z, all of this stuff, right? So it's supposed to be just for the team in Ontario, right? And somehow the word got out. Somebody leaked and said something and all this stuff. So we had a room that could only fit 100 people at this building, and then we were getting harassed in this building all the time because, you know, anytime we're in a building, especially WFG, like we're prospecting everyone, we're excited, we're doing all of this stuff, and you know, everybody's in the buildings constantly finding reasons to hate on us, right? So anyway, this one meeting, the room could hold maybe about 80 to 100. And somehow Jamie found out, and Jamie sent her big shot over. So we had like 150, 175 people, and people were laying out on carpet outside. And then so the security guy in the building called the fire department, right? So the whole fire department came up, the fire captain came up, and they shut the meeting down. And then Paul, I think Paul at the time was an MD, right? So there was a hotel right across the street. So Paul runs to the hotel across the street, talks to the manager there, gets us a room, right? They said, do you want chairs? And I'm like, no, we don't need chairs. We just need a room, right? So he negotiates the room real quick, runs back, and tells us, hey, we got a room at the hotel next door, which was the DoubleTree. So imagine all 200, all 150 of us, shut your phones off, I'll put them on silence, right? All 150 of us, we go running across the street to the DoubleTree, we run into this hotel room, lock the door, and we were all sitting on the floor on a carpet. And that was like our emergency meeting. We just had a blast, right? It was so much fun. That had to be like 2005, 2006, right? So first of all, I want to tell you guys probably the biggest reasons I held this meeting, because I like holding meetings like this because I like to look around in a crowd and it lets me know who's really hungry, right? Because it's a very inconvenient time. It's a Sunday morning. It's 9 o'clock. There's a lot of different, trust me, I'm not going to go through all these phones for a second. You know, like, that's going to drive me crazy. So take a second out and make sure your phone's on mute. Make sure my phone's on mute too, because my phone has a crazy ring. Has a song ring too. So where was I at? My daughter's fired up. What's that? I like to have a meeting at an inconvenient time, because it also shows me how hungry we are. And it just always blows me away that our team is like so hungry, and leaders at all different places in their businesses is really hungry to make a move in their business, right? So a couple of outcomes today, right? A couple of outcomes is that there's a lot of things about the business that we don't talk about, that are subtle, that we don't talk about, that unless you've been out in the field with a very experienced trainer, that you might never ever learn, right? So there's a psychology behind, you know how we talk about the business format system, leaders have come way before you. They've made all the mistakes, right? So you don't have to remake those mistakes, right? But a lot of times when we don't understand why things are done a certain way, we end up making those same mistakes, and what ends up happening, it delays your success because you don't understand the psychology of everything that's being done. That's the difference between being coachable and teachable. Okay? So what I like to do is I like to rearrange the room real quick. Now that we have okay, open the door just for 1 minute. Just in case. Just like okay, just
Jackson and
see, I knew it. Someone was here at 7 in the bathroom. We can always count on Jack's schools. I told you one morning I did full-timers. I was doing full-timers, and Sophia's always paying attention to everyone in the room, who's taking notes, blah, 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 and all this stuff. So Jax comes up to me. Is that your name, Jax, right? Yeah. Jax comes up to me, and he's all motivated. He's like, oh my God, dude, I feel like you were talking to me this morning. And Sophia looks at him and goes, is that why you kept going in and out? So we're walking outside like, damn, dude, did you really have to go I know he needed to hear that. So I want to move the room around a little bit. What I like to do is I like to do it in a way because I want to kind of like walk in the center. So if we can kind of set it up where we're doing it and maybe where we're facing each other, like in threes, because then that way it could be more out of my classroom. We get it messy. Let's get it a little messy all the way to the door. Make sure the door's locked. Make sure the door's locked. Yeah, I still like to see this. You're the clicker? That's no worries. Let's do it in 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13. Those of you in the back, move around. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I'm all the way up front. Okay, so this is going to be.
Can we move it there? Does it need to be connected?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I mean, it's charging.
yeah, the wire needs to be connected.
Is your office open?
So much
Hey,
for
Josh, can you get the small circle table in Denise's office?
So much for the tie.
Can we disconnect the wire?
Okay, couple of
Oh, the
things.
Zoom is on this?
As we're doing this.
Okay, and then we need
As
to.
we're doing this,
So take it
try to
out.
refrain from. I want you to be a little present,
adapter.
not so much on your phone.
We need that
You're
adapter
there,
too,
putting on
to connect it to this microphone.
So disconnected, and I want you to be a little bit more present here.
And I mean,
Obviously,
to
that's
bring
the
this
problem
computer.
this morning here, so don't be so concerned about who's not here, them getting the information. They should have made the investment at the time it came out. Okay, so let's be a little bit more present. Okay, so I'm going to start off. I like to get some questions from you guys. Okay, we're going to start off with a question and answer period. There's 4 areas, right? And I'm going to be doing a series of these trainings, right? So we're not going to. There's too much information to just give it to you guys all at once. What I found with people is that our capacity to get information is max 2 hours is our capacity. After that, your head starts moving back to your head, and, all that kind of stuff, and you don't really retain the information, right? So there's 4 areas, right? There's 4 areas that I want you to be conscious on your effectiveness, right? And you guys heard me talk about this before. One is your ability to make phone calls, right? Your ability to, and be in the habit, you guys, be in the habit that whenever you come to a meeting like this, that you have something to write with, because what flows through you sticks to you. You guys follow me on that? What flows through you sticks to you. So have a notepad, something that you can take notes on. So one area is your ability to make phone calls. And in today's era, a lot of times we don't have to make as many calls as we made before. So I'll give you an example. Do you have my phone there? Oh, nice. Okay, grab that thing back right there.
No, it's on the table.
Oh, it's on the table. Grab my phone. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that, right? So one of the areas that intimidates us, not all of us, I'm not going to assume, one of the areas that intimidate us is the art of prospecting, right? Who can tell me what prospecting is from a fundamental standpoint? Create relationship. What's that? Create relationship. Okay. Approaching someone that you don't know. Okay. Why does that bother us when we approach someone that we don't know? Rejection. What's that? Rejection. What else? Uncertainty. What's that? Comfort level. Judgment. What's that?
We don't want to be judged.
We don't want to be judged, right? So I was personally prospected. I haven't been prospected in years, right? But I was personally prospected, let me see, I was personally prospected 2 times, right? The first one was for, you guys heard of Primerica Financial Services? The first one was Primerica, right? So the lady that prospected me, can you imagine? There's a lady out there right now that had prospected me and even got me recruited.
She's still crying.
I don't even know. So when I think about her prospecting, she was very intentional with her prospecting. Right? Let me tell you where she went prospecting. Remember how Burger King has Burger King? I don't know if they still had it, but they used to have the little PlayStation where you could take your kids inside and the little ballroom where the kids go in and play in the ballroom, right? So she went specifically to that Burger King because she knew that who hangs out in those places? Parents with kids. You follow me? So it's very intentional, right? So sometimes we say we prospect as we go, but also prospecting can be very intentional. I want to go where I know families go. Follow me on that? The second thing, so that was the first thing, her location that she chose, right? The second thing she did, and I'll tell you how she did it, is that she was looking for, and she looked for something authentic and a compliment. All right? So let me tell you how it played out. So I'm at Burger King. My son Justin and my daughter Brianna, they're in there playing, and I'm sitting down, I'm reading a book, right, as they're playing. She comes up to me, and she says, "Good afternoon. Very rarely do I see a dad." Now, how does she know I was a dad? She must have been paying attention. So she says, very rarely do I see a dad in the middle of the day spending time with his kids and reading a book, right? And she says, that's awesome. And then she says, what do you do? I said, I'm in the Marine Corps. I said, I'm in the Marine Corps. And then she hits me with one line. She says, my company is growing and expanding. My mentor said to me, if I see anyone sharp like you, right? Someone gives you a compliment, what do you do? You love it, right? And she says, very rarely do I see someone sharp like, my mentor told me, if I see someone sharp like you, to get their name and number, because his company is growing and expanding, and he's looking for some sharp people. Can I have your name and number? Right? Now, what did she do? It wasn't about her. She was leveraging who? She was leveraging her leader. Right? So she was a headhunter. So it wasn't about me telling her no, there was no room for me to give her rejection. You guys follow me on that? Usually when you give someone an authentic compliment, you're the only one that gave them that authentic compliment. You guys follow me on that? Automatically people like you if you say some things good to them, provided it's the truth. You guys follow me on that? So automatically when she said that to me, I remember thinking to myself, finally, I've been discovered. That's literally how it felt. So I was excited. Listen to this. I was excited about giving her my number. The way she framed it. You guys follow me? I was excited about giving her my number. So the next day, I literally forgot about it. The next day, my phone rings. Follow up within 24 to 48 hours. The next day, my phone rings, and I hear, good afternoon, Dan. This is Bob Frater from Primerica Financial Services. One of my associates met you at Burger King yesterday. Told me that you were spending time with your kid, that you were reading a book, and you strike her as a very sharp person. My company is growing and expanding, and I'm looking for people like you. When's a good time that you can come to my office, right? And I'll spend about 20, 25 minutes with you to show you who we are, what we do, and the opportunity that's available. I have an opening in my schedule. Tomorrow at 12 or tomorrow at 3, which one of those times work best for you? I said tomorrow at 12. Boom, you booked an appointment. Here's my office address. You guys follow me on that? That's a form of prospecting, right? So I want you to keep in mind, what is a reticular activator? Who can tell me what a reticular activator is?
It's the thoughts and habits that you have. It's your subconscious.
Okay, that's a good try. Who else? Okay, it's a group of nerves in your brain that helps you focus. Okay. Your reticular activator is what, Denise? Denise, what time were you here this morning?
It's 7:15.
7:15? Nice. Okay.
It's something in your brain that whatever you're looking for, you'll find.
Okay.
Essentially.
So it's very important that you understand what your reticular activator is and how it works. Okay? So there's a part of your brain called the reticular activator. It blocks out all the stuff that's not important. You guys follow me on here? Whatever is not important to you, it blocks out. So what ends up happening to you, you'll see whatever it is that you're looking for. Follow me? So if someone says to themselves, I don't have anyone to prospect. I don't know anyone. Right? Automatically, their reticular activator goes, hey, you don't know anyone. And they literally, in their mind, they'll draw blank. That's why you hear me say sometimes, if I said, let's say I said to you this week, I launched a campaign from this meeting, right? And my campaign in this meeting was this. I said, look, you guys, I'm going to do a deal with everybody here, right? And let's assume that most of you did no recruiting the last 6 months. You haven't recruited anyone, right? Because you said, you know, hey, well, Dan, I don't know anyone. I don't know what to say. I've been through my market is negative, blah, blah, blah. All the stories that you're telling yourself on why you haven't recruited anyone and you haven't prospected anyone. I don't know anybody, I'm new in the area, blah, 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 all these excuses, right? So these stories that you've told yourself is why you have not taken action. You guys follow me on that? Your reticular activator believes that story, whether that story is a bullshit story or it's a true story. Your reticular activator believes that story, right? So now I say to you, hey, I'm going to do a deal with you guys. For every single person, you see, all right, I need to do it. So I say, I'm going to do a deal with you guys, right? I'm going to personally write you a check for $1,000 for every single person that you code that has a membership agreement and you directly recruited, and that's only going to last the next 2 days. You guys follow me on that? Here's what just happened to your mind. Here's what happened to your brain. What happened to your brain when Dan's going to get $1,000, right? So if I recruit 10 people 2 days, I get 10 grand. If I recruit 20 people, I get 20 grand. You see how that works right there? You start doing that? Automatically, your brain goes, oh, okay, I'm going to recruit 10 people the next 2 days. You follow me on that? It doesn't find that, it doesn't care about rejection, not knowing people, blah, 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 all this stuff. How does that happen? What's that? It has a purpose. Why else does it happen? There's a reward associated with it. You guys follow me on that? So you're not thinking about the fear, you're not thinking about what people are going to say, all of that stuff, right? So if you understand how your reticular activator works, right, you can actually use it to your advantage, because in recruiting and prospecting, it's going to make you so much more money. You guys follow me on that? So whatever story you're telling yourself, you need to identify and go, hey, that's a story that I'm telling myself. It doesn't really serve me. How do I master prospecting and become great at prospecting? You guys follow me? You guys follow me on that? Okay. So I want to give you a couple of tips on that. So we're in 2020 now. So show you a couple of ways that that we're doing, right? So my wife is a great prospector, right? So she's always prospecting, right? So I show you one thing that we're doing. So before she would prospect people in Uber. Actually, Rubali and her husband. Rubali was driving her, right? She was we had a meeting at the club. She called Uber. Rubali was the driver. Rubali picked her up, and Rubali was thinking, when she picked her up, when she looked at Sophia, she was like, oh my God, this is a beautiful house in Beverly Hills, beautiful lady, oh my God. And then she's taking her out to the Grand Havana room, and Rubali was thinking, well, tell us what you were thinking, Rubali, because you're probably better at telling.
I picked her up and I said, oh my goodness, I'm here driving part-time as Uber, making a few dollars, and here comes a nice woman in Beverly Hills on a Monday night to dress up. I wish I can do the same thing too, just relax on a Monday night. I wonder what she does. And I'm thinking here, this is a Havana club. This is of course like a fancy membership. I said, I wonder what she does. She started talking to me and asking me what I'm doing. Of course, I told her what's going on with us. We're doing this part-time for exchange. I said, and then she started talking about the company. And it caught me because she was talking about what she's doing and said, I want to share you our blessings. My husband and I were so blessed with this company, and I want to share that with you. So it hits me that she's successful because of something. So I started listening.
Now, did you see what she said she was thinking about? See, a lot of times when we're thinking, our own thoughts of fear, so a lot of times what happens is that because we're so concerned about what people think about us, right? We don't share with them the blessing of the opportunity. You follow me on that? So if you change that in your mind, you go, you know what? Every single person is looking for this opportunity, right? Every single person is looking for this opportunity. Everyone wants to be in an environment that's encouraging, that praises them, that recognizes them, that's a positive environment. They want to be part of something that's bigger than them, right? They want to be part of something that's bigger than them. They want to be part of a cause. They want to have a crusade. And obviously, they want to make more money, whether it's a part-time or full-time, right? So most people that you meet, they don't know that this is the opportunity that can change their lives. You guys follow me in that? They don't know that on the initial. So on the initial, it seems like they're doing you a favor, but in reality, what will happen long term, they'll turn around and say, I'm so grateful that you spoke to me and you got my number and you introduced me to this, because if you didn't do this, I don't know what I was going to do, right? So that's the difference between when you become a crusader. Now, are people going to tell you no? Yeah, you're going to have some people that tell you no. Some people are going to give you wrong numbers. Some people are going to give you wrong numbers. But you can't turn your reticular activator to where you're thinking about all the people that are going to tell you no versus all the people that you're going to be aggressive. You guys follow me on that? So I'll give you an example. So this is a prospect. Let's see. Boom. Okay, Joel. So this is a prospect, and her name is Danielle, right? So my wife is in Uber. She prospects this lady, and so before, like when she prospected Rubely, she sent me Rubely's number, right? Then she says, you gotta call her within 48 hours. I'm like, okay, right? And then sometimes I forget it. She's like, you never call my prospect. I'm like, yeah. And I have to go through all this stuff, right? And then I got better at it, right? So then she turned it around. She's like, okay, how do I get Dan to respond a lot faster, right? So then what she did is when she prospect now, she has me on an automatic three-way text, right? And here it goes. It says, hi, darling. She calls me darling. So the other day, right? Don't let me forget this morning, right? So the other day, we're at the airport. We're going to Maryland. We were speaking at. I was speaking at Andy Wynn's event. He had like 5,000 people. So he had like 5 times the size of the house. Rocky Sheep had a separate wealth vault, right? And 2,000 people were in that wealth vault, right? And the entire 2,000 was all Chinese. Everything was done in Chinese. I obviously didn't speak it out. Right? So anyway, right? So we're at the airport, right? We're at the airport, and she's. We go through customs. And I was doing something. I forgot what I was doing. And she said to me, babe, do you want some Starbucks? And I said, yeah, I want some Starbucks. She said, I'll go to Starbucks. And Starbucks had a line. So I go through customs and all this stuff. And the airport is packed, right? And I go through customs, and I come through customs, and I see her in the corner of my eye at Starbucks, but I act like I don't see her. So I'm kind of looking around, and she's yelling from Starbucks. She's like, darling, darling. And I act like I'm not, I don't see her like this. And every guy, every guy's like, on the phone saying the same thing. Oh, you're text, right? Let's get back. Let's stay focused. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we go. She says, "Hi, darling. I just met this really nice, sharp person named by Danielle." So Danielle's reading this. Right? This is her message to me. Right? She says she's driving Uber, but has a good background in sales. I know how busy you are, but you're never too busy to listen to your wife's instinct. Right? Please give her a call today after your meeting or early tomorrow. I'm very excited about Danielle. She could be a great fit for our next big leader. Thanks, babe, and welcome to the opportunity, Danielle. I'm so excited for you, and if you're available tomorrow afternoon, let me know. Then I will just schedule you right away to meet with us. Greetings, Sophia. Right? So now, instead of now calling, we can do a three-way text and boom, get that person on that texting feed. You guys follow me? That's just a small idea. Then my message was, sounds great, Danielle. When is a good time for us to call? All right, real to the point. She texts me back. She says, hello there, this is Danielle. Sorry, I'm responding so late, but I miss Sophia. But as Miss Sophia explained, I drive for Uber and keep late hours sometimes. I'm very into speaking with you about possibly joining your team. Do you have any time this week to schedule a meeting? And then boom, 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 meeting scheduled. You guys follow me on that? So there's different ways now. There's different ways now to actually prospect. You guys follow me? So I want you to start leveraging the ways that you communicate. Now you guys can actually edify each other, right? You guys can edify each other. So like, for example, Franklin, you could be doing that with Pavi. Pavi, you could be doing that with Leah. It doesn't matter. You guys can leverage each other, right? Because at the end of the day, they don't know who's who. Cool? Okay. So we're back to primary. This guy calls me, books an appointment. I go down to the office. I meet with him, right? And when I met with him, let me tell you what recruited me. He said he showed me a video. I never forget it, right? He said, I want to show you something about our company. Right? So back then they had the little VHS things, and he showed me a video of one of the African-American leaders in Primerica that was speaking on stage. You know how you go on YouTube and you have all the speakers from the conventions and all this stuff? He showed me this video. And I looked at the video, I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. This guy looks like me, boom, blah, blah. You know how I get the whole thing about retiring my mom? That's where I saw it. Initially, because the guy was wearing a yellow suit on stage and he was talking about he retired his mom. I was like, oh, I want to retire my mom, right? And I got started in Primerica. This was back in 1996. That's what recruited me in Primerica, right? And then 6 months later, I quit. Right? Yes, I did. I quit. Right? And then I got prospected again. Right? I got prospected again. And this is when I met Ed Mullet. You guys know that story, right? So prospecting is a part that the longer you delay, the longer you say, I'm not good at it, I'm not going to do it, and you don't have a strategy for prospecting, whether it's personal, meeting someone personally, to follow up with texting or calling, you don't have a strategy for it, it's going to delay your process of getting wide. You guys follow me on that? And one of the biggest things you're going to do in your business to get wide, right, you got to get wide to grow your business, right? So when I met Joseph and Bathsheba, I knew when I came to LA, I knew, I said, okay, I'm starting from scratch. It's a new office. I have to get out and prosper. You guys follow me on that? Now, there's 2 laws I want you to write down, right? One is the law of momentum. The law of momentum. The law of momentum. Okay. Whatever's going on in your life, whether it's good or bad, right? momentum is always the key for everything. Right? Something small might be going on and it becomes big. The reason it's big is because you have no momentum. You follow me? So I'm constantly thinking about how do I create momentum? Because if I have momentum, right, things are not as big as you might think they are. Give you an example. So if I have a train, right, big train, and I put a wall in front of that train, and I tell the conductor, move the train, right, the train won't be able to move. Why? Because it's at a standstill, right? But if the train is moving at 200 to 300 miles an hour, right, and then you put a wall on a track, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go right through that wall. Follow me? So I want you to think to yourself now, whether you got 5 people on your team, 2 people on your team, it's just you, how do I create momentum? Because once I create momentum, the business becomes very easy. Right? So the law of momentum, I want you to study that. The second thing is the law of the catalyst. Right? The law of the catalyst. Catalyst meaning that a catalyst, there's certain criteria that a catalyst has. Right? There's a certain profile that a catalyst has. Right? So which means in recruiting, which we're going to talk a lot about today, is that there's general recruiting. I'm going to have a lot of people come into my business, but I'm going to have very few catalysts come into my business. Catalysts are drivers. They know how to create momentum, energy. All right? So, 2012, I'm at the club, and I said, you know what? I want to build a big shop. I want to build a big base shop. Right? So the first thing that has to happen is a decision has to be made. You guys follow me on that? I went back and forth in my mind, should I not? And finally, Cedric, I said, that's it, I'm going to build a big shop. All right? So as soon as I made that decision, I knew 2 things. One, I got to gain momentum because there's no one here but me. You guys follow me on that? My whole team is in Ontario, Chino, and all this stuff. I'm the only one here, and I have no momentum right now. So I must create momentum. 2, I got to find a catalyst. Because if I can find a catalyst, right, the recruiting will become easy. You guys follow me on that? As I'm telling you this, you should be thinking the same thing. I gotta go from 0 to hero, right? Now, so then I start going, okay, well, it comes down to the simple things. I have to prospect. Follow me on that? But then I go, well, I don't want to walk around Beverly Hills prospecting, right? But I know how to prospect, right? So then I said, there's 2 laws. There's the law of giving, and there's the law of receiving. If you understand all these things, it becomes very easy. What's the law of giving? Who can tell me what the law of giving is?
Give first before you get anything.
What's that?
Give first before you get
Okay.
anything.
What kind of giving can we do? What's part of giving?
Giving up your time.
What's that? Your time. Okay, what else?
The law is based on the fact that everything in the universe operates through dynamic exchange. Every relationship is one of a give and take, because giving and receiving are different aspects of energy in the universe.
Okay. Well, give me some example of things that we can give.
A compliment.
A compliment. Is that giving?
Yes.
Yes. Does it take anything to do that?
No.
Okay. What else?
Knowledge.
Time, knowledge, environment, value.
Gifts, resources.
What's that?
Resources.
Resources. Tithing, right? So there's all kind of ways that we can give, right? You can lift someone's spirit, say something encouraging to someone. Is that giving? Right? Giving is not just giving people money. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Energy, that's giving. You guys follow me on that? Now, what's the other law?
Receiving.
Law of receiving. Okay, what does that mean? To accept, right? Someone gives you something. Maybe it's a compliment. Some of us can't even take a compliment. You have to be what? You have to be open to receive. You ever see someone says to them, "Oh, you look really nice today." They go, "Oh, no." You ever see people do that?
Yeah.
Right? Because they block, they can't receive. You guys follow me? Or they don't feel that they deserve this, that they see themselves a certain way. Right? So what happens a lot of times is that we're great givers, but we block receiving. Right? Sometimes it's our ego, sometimes it's our pride, right? We don't ask for help, things of that nature. You guys follow me on that? Okay. So you have to understand those laws, right? So once you understand those laws, things are really simple, right? So first thing, I decide, right? Nothing happens without a decision. You have to make a decision today and go, you know what? I've been here for a year, I've been here for 3 years, I've been here for 2 years, I've been here for 6 months, but today, I'm announcing today, I'm going to take a big shot. I'm going to build a team, right? So, he's looking at us.
The hierarchy, there's like 100 people.
Okay, got it, all right? So I decide, and I make a decision. So next thing that I do, I share my decision out loud. I said my intention out loud. So I'm training at an office in Chino, and I said, "Hey, you guys, I decided, publicly announced, I decided I'm going to build a team in Beverly Hills." Everybody's talking about that, right? Because people in Beverly Hills are not going to come and meetings, blah, 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 because everybody has this persona about Beverly Hills. Right? I said, "Hey, I decided I'm going to build a team in Beverly Hills. If anyone knows anyone in that area that's interested in the opportunity, let them know I'm in Beverly Hills now, and I decided I'm going to start a team." You follow me on that? What did I just do? I planted a seed. You guys follow me? Now, no one was thinking that I was opening office in Beverly Hills. Now, 50 people in the room knows that I decided that I'm opening an office in Beverly Hills. You guys follow me on that? That was very intentional. The difference between a rookie and a pro, a rookie is consciously competent. No, a pro is consciously competent. A rookie is unconsciously incompetent. Did I say that right, Leah?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You guys got that? Okay. So then Peter, you know Peter Stanion? So Peter Stanion was at an event in Beverly Hills, right? He was at a nonprofit event, smoking cigars with someone, and he meets a guy that lives in Beverly Hills. And then Peter says to the guy, "My mentor just moved to Beverly Hills. And he's looking for some sharp people. He doesn't know anyone in Beverly Hills. He's looking for some sharp people. He likes cigars. He's a member of the Grand Havana Room. I think you guys need to meet." And the guy goes, "Oh, he's a member of the Grand Havana Room? I've always wanted to go to the Grand Havana Room. Yeah, I'd love to meet him, blah, 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 blah." Peter shoots me a message. I met this guy. He's a cigar smoker. He lives in Beverly Hills, real estate background. I told him about you, give him a call. All right? So boom, I got my first contact. See how that happened? All right? So I blow him a call. hey, this is Dan Charlier, you don't know me, but you met with one of my buddies, Peter Stanion. I heard you're a cigar smoker. He said, yeah. Well, I'm a member of the Grand Barrel, heard you like cigars. Let's get together and have a cigar at the Grand Barrel. When's a good time? We didn't talk any business. It was a 1-minute call. You guys follow me? The purpose of the call is not to start rattling about WFG, what I'm looking for, blah, 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 all this stuff. It was just like, hey, let's get together. Great recruiters always operate from a neutral position. Great recruiters always operate from a neutral position. You guys follow me on that? Great recruiters always operate from a neutral position. Cool? Okay. So we meet. What's the purpose of me making a phone call? To set up an appointment. That's it. Does it take 10 minutes to set up an appointment? Does it take 20? No, it takes 1 to 2 minutes max. You guys follow me on that? What's my intention? Just to meet and have a cigar. That's what my intention is. Not to recruit them, not to have a long story, not to have any of that. You guys follow me on that? Who am I looking for? I'm looking for people looking for me. Who do I want to help? I want to help people who want my help. You see how simple this crap is? Guess what happens when I go on the appointment? I have no pressure on me because I put no pressure on me. When you show up on the appointment, oh my God, I gotta recruit this guy. Oh my God, I got someone, I gotta recruit him. You got all this pressure on you. So guess what? You walk into the appointment with a 50-pound pack on your back. You look heavy. The energy is heavy, right? So we meet at the club, we light a cigar, we start talking. Now, when we start talking, I want you to write this down. These are all fundamental things. Pros have the ability to stay focused on fundamentals. You guys follow me on that? The hardest thing to do is stay focused on fundamentals. We get away from the fundamentals. All right? One of the greatest coaches in football, I'm not a big football fan, so I don't remember his name. What was his name? Yeah, long time ago. Vince Lombardi. Right? Vince Lombardi, in the locker room, he used to start off and go, this is a football. Imagine this. He would start off and go, like no one knows that this is a football. You go, this is a football. And literally, he would show his teammates how they should tie their laces. Just like fundamental stuff, right? So, fundamental. In every conversation, there's two things that happen in every conversation, right? There's an accessor and there's an accessee. You guys agree? Yeah. There's an accessor and there's an accessee, right? In every conversation. Also, in every conversation, there's two things that happen. In every conversation, there's someone interesting and there's someone interested. You guys follow me on that? Now, when you have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, you need to be liked, you're trying to sell people on you, you play the wrong part. You're playing the part of being the accessee. You're playing the part of being interesting. All right? So when I'm playing the part of being interesting, I see it all the time. Like sometimes I'll have casual meetings with you guys, and you guys have come over the house and all this stuff, and I sit there and I'm smoking a cigar and I'm kind of like minding my own business. I'm listening to you guys and all this stuff. And I watch you guys do it all the time. You'll leave the house after spending an hour, 2 hours with me, and the entire time, all you did was talk to me about me. Oh, let me tell you what I'm doing, let me tell this, let me tell that, let me tell this, let me tell that, let me tell this, let me tell that, let me tell this, let me tell that. Boom, try to, oh, I gotta impress them, I gotta impress them, I gotta impress them, I gotta impress them. I go, boom, they still don't get it. They still don't get it. Right? You're doing that because you want to be liked. You want at the end of the day, I go, oh, you know what, man, Franklin is a really good guy, man. He did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. You're focused on, so you're going in the field with a need to be interesting. Look at me, look at how much I know. Let me tell you this, let me tell you that, let me tell you this, let me tell you that, and you're downloading crap on people. Here's what happens. The most important thing doesn't happen. The most important thing is that you do not connect with someone by talking about you. You guys follow me on that? This is what the field trainers, some of you know this information. The problem is that you're not training. You're not teaching other people the information. Or you think this stuff, oh, that's just so basic, you know. People do business with who they like and who they trust, right? Trust is a big word, right? I don't get to trust you if you don't have a likability factor. You guys follow me on that? If you don't have a likability factor, I'm not going to spend more time with you. But if you have a likability factor, I leave there going, man, I really like this person. And it's not so hard to get people to like you. Let me tell you how you do it. I'm going to teach you something really simple. It's going to be so simple, right? We all know how to ask questions, right? Right? So if I'm meeting with Denise, I have to get Denise to talk about herself, which means that I must get into her world, right? Now, Denise starts telling me, yeah, I was born in so-and-so, I was in the army, blah, blah, blah. And as she's talking, I learn to say, no way. Say it with me. No way. Are you serious?
Oh my God.
No way. Oh my God. No way. Right? You start doing that, right? And as you do that, people want to tell you more. And then just try it, right? So some of you like, say, Dan, I had 4 guests tonight. No way. You had 4 guests tonight? Oh my God. That's so awesome, right? That's so awesome, right? So now, okay, so understanding that, right? So I go to this meeting. At the Grand Emmanuel at Hamlet, right? I'm not saying anything about me. I'm getting into this guy's world, right? Tell me about yourself. How long have you been in Beverly Hills? I've been in Beverly Hills 20 years. No. You've been in Beverly Hills for 20 years? Jeez Louise. What have you done? I've been in real estate, blah, blah, blah. Real estate? How is real estate? Well, we're real estate. No, what? Are you serious? How old were you when you made your first million? I was 18 years old. You made your first million at 18? No way. Right? All this stuff, right? And he's wheeling into it, and he's like, and the more he starts telling me about his accomplishments, right? Which is probably the first time someone's ever asked him about his accomplishments. You guys follow me on that? So he throws up on me for like 20 minutes, right? About all the stuff that he's done and all of this stuff, right? Then I ask him a question. I said, hey man, let me ask you a question. You seem like you're a great guy. You've done great things, right? And if I can help you, I don't know if I can, but if I can help you with one thing, let's say I had a magic wand, and I can help you with one thing, what would that one thing be? Usually when people meet you, they're so focused on what they need. You guys follow me on that? I meet you, I want you to join me in business, blah, 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 right? I reversed it. If I can help you with one thing, what would it be? And he says, it's funny that you asked me that. And he goes, I'm working on something right now, and I need this. He was doing an investment deal, and he was looking for something specific, right? And I started going back in my mind, and Bashaba seen me do this like 1,000 times, right? And I go back in my mind, I go, oh, I think I have someone that can help me, right? Make a phone call, boom, connect them with one of my buddies, right? Connect them with one of my buddies. They meet, they do a deal, it works out great for them. He calls me back, hey man, can I give you a kickback? No. Give me a break. That's just, universe is friendly, energy's never wasted always, right? I make my money doing this, not doing like little deals and making a little money on the side, right? Thinking too small, right? So then, what happens now with my relationship with them? What's that? I'm probably the only person that he's encountered, right, within the year that generally he felt good leaving. He's like, oh my God, this guy hurt me, blah, 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 all this stuff. Then he helped me, all this stuff, right? What's a natural thing that happens there? We meet again. And what does he want now? What's that?
How can I help you?
How can I help you? I thought you never asked. No way! You guys follow me on that? This is what should be happening on the kitchen tables. This is why you should be getting referrals. You guys follow me on that? Right? So then he says, hey man, what can I do to help you? Right? I said, actually, because I was clear and I had decided, I knew I needed to create momentum. I also need to know a catalyst. I was very specific on how he can help me. Let me tell you exactly, with exactness, what you can do to help. You guys follow me on that? Sometimes people say, hey, can I help you? And you're like, well, you don't answer a specific question. You're not specific. Tell me how I can help you. Right? You're like, well, you don't know. So he asked me. I said, well, I had a dream. Right? And this is true. I had a dream. And I told him, I want to be able to sit in this club. And from this club, I want to be able to walk to my office. Because I didn't have an office. I didn't want to get in a car. I don't want to drive. I want to walk to the office. He said, I said, that's one. Two, I don't know anybody out here. I'm looking for a business partner. And let me tell you what this business partner looks like. One, they're Jewish. Two, they're married. Three, they have kids. Four, they own a home. Five, they have an income. They're making money. Six, they're in the insurance industry. Seven, they're dissatisfied. Eight, they have credibility in their market. 9, they're competitive. And 10, they're looking for me. See how I just spitted that out? You guys follow me on that? So he sits there and he goes, wow, I don't know anyone like that. He goes, because he's motivated to help me. So his particular activator is working now. How can I help? Because he's motivated to help me. How do you get people motivated to help you? When someone's motivated to help you, they will find a way to help you. You guys follow me on that? I created a way for him to be motivated to help me. I help you. Follow me? And when I helped them, there was no attachment like he has to help. There's no attachments. A lot of times you help people, and then you have all this attachment. Now you got to do something for me. No, there's no attachments. What's that?
No quid pro quo.
No
Quid pro quo.
No quid pro quo. I like that. Okay. Right? So now he's motivated to help. Right? So he says, let me ask around, because I know quite a few people, let me ask around. So the next day he calls me, he goes, Dan, my uncle is one of the owners of the 9454 building on Beverly and Wilshire. I just called them and I told them that you need an office space. He goes, Dan, you're not going to believe this. There's a penthouse suite upstairs. These offices very rarely become available, and one is available. The person that was in that office for 10 years, and that office just became available, and I told my uncle to keep it moving. So literally, he called me. I was at the club, and he says, meet me at the building right now. I want to introduce you to my uncle, and I want you to show you the office. I walked out of the Grand Van Room. I walked down Cannon, made a right on Wilshire, made a left on Beverly, walked in the Bank of America building, got in the elevator, hit Penthouse, went all the way upstairs, opened the door. Then I met him there. Then I walked up this flight of stairs, right? Then I walked into the office, and I was like, this office was probably the size of that office right there. Had an open door. I opened the door. I'm on the top of the building, overlooking the whole Beverly Hills. And he goes, this is your office if you want. I said, wow, this is what I pictured. All right, signed the office, boom, 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 got it. Did my little deal with the office. Boom, I got my office. So then he says to me, you asked me to help you with the second thing. He says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an appointment. I'm going to set up an appointment with my brother. My brother works at the Kabbalah Center. He knows a lot of people. So at that time, before I got that office there, I had another office that was right in the middle of Wilshire. You guys remember that office? I think it's I think they do, it's a talent agency that's there now. It's a talent agency that's there. It's got a pyramid in front of it. It looks like Trans-American. That's what I say all the time, right? And I had a buddy that had an office space in there. He let me borrow that office. He let me rent that office, and I was using that office before I got that, right? So I'm sitting in that office, and I had put all my stuff on the wall, all my plaques, all the stuff. And so this guy calls me back. He says, hey, I told my brother to come see you. All right? So his brother comes to my office, and his brother sits down with me. His brother says, my brother told me to come see you. How can I help you? Right? I said, well, let me show you a little bit about our company, who we are, what we do, and I'll tell you exactly what we're looking for. And then so he goes, no, you don't need to do that. Just tell me how I can help you. He says, first of all, just meeting you, you have 3 lines on your forehead. That means that you're a trustworthy person. And just tell me how I can help you. I still got to do some research on that. That's a Kabbalah thing. I still got these things. And then he says, just tell me how I can help. Right? I said, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Jewish couple. They're married. They have kids. They have an income. And I go through the all 10-step point, right? Then he goes, I can't think of that person right now. But give me a couple of days and I'll get back with you. Right? What just happened to his reticular activator? This reticular activator is activated and it's looking. You guys follow me on this? Why am I telling you guys this? I'm not telling you guys just to tell you a story. I'm telling you guys can do the same exact thing. You follow me? It doesn't have to be as hard as you're putting it out to be. That's the difference between a rookie and a pro. A rookie is unintentional, right? A pro is very intentional, right? Planted that seed. There's a whole bunch of people right now that you know that's in your market that want to help you, but they don't know how to help you because you've never asked for help. And if you ask for help, it's very general, it's not specific. You guys follow me on that? So he gets in his car, he leaves. Within 3 minutes, he calls me. He goes, Dan, I've been thinking about what you asked me, because here's what happens in your brain. What happens in your brain is that once I put that in his mind, in his reticular activator, right? Your brain has all these files inside, right? So all these files starts coming up. His brain's going through, but look for the profile, right? And all of a sudden, a file comes out. Bam! Goes, oh my God, this is who Dan's looking for. See what just happened? So he calls me. He says, I know exactly who you're looking for. There's a couple at the Kabbalah Center. Their name is Joseph and Bathsheba. They have 7 kids. They live in the community. They're great people. They have credibility. They're in the insurance industry. They own a home. Blah, blah, blah. All this stuff, right? They're dissatisfied. Literally, all 10 points that I told them, Joseph and Bathsheba fit that profile. Follow me on that? You can do the same exact thing. So I said to him, do you have enough credibility where you can get Joseph and Bathsheba to come meet with me at my office? Now, why did I do that? What's that? Because I wanted to set the tone right from the beginning. Follow me? I'm not going to see them. I want to disturb them. I want to see how hungry they are. I want them to come in. Follow me? Just like this meeting, I could have did this meeting on a time where it was convenient for everybody. I wanted to do them Sunday morning, 9 a.m., where it's inconvenient for everyone. Because I want to see who's who. Follow me? I want to see who's hungry, blah, blah, blah. I know who's here, and I know who's not here. I told my wife, all the players will. Follow me on that? And I know who's like, hey, I'll sit back home and I'll watch it on this and eat some popcorn while I'm watching the thing. I know it, right? Okay, so Joseph and Bathsheba comes in, right? I already know they're my business partner. You follow me? I already know they're my business partners. So it's not like I don't have to try to impress them. I don't have to try to recruit them. I don't have to do any of that. I already know because the intention was already set. I saw it in my mind before I met with them. There's no coincidence. You follow me? So they walk in, right? They have all their own filters. They walk in. They walk in my office. They look around, right? Bathsheba sees all the WFG stuff, right? And automatically, she had a bad experience. They both had a bad experience with WFG. Right? They had bad experience with WFG. They didn't know that this was WFG. If they had known that this was WFG, they most likely wouldn't have come to me. Right? So she starts off, she goes, is this WFG? I go, yeah. Right? And then, like women have signals to speak to their event, right? So automatically she takes her hand, she throws it, goes it like this, and gives Joseph the eye, because Joseph is pleasant and all this stuff. It's just like, throws Joseph the eye and go, let's get out of here, cousin. Right? Now, there's something called defusing a situation. Write this down. Defusing a situation. Defusing a situation is me recognizing that. I said, oh my God, you've had an experience with WFG and it wasn't a positive experience. Do you mind sharing with me what that experience was? So I recognize that she did not have a great experience in WFG. I want to know, God, I've been doing this for 13 years. What was your experience? Because I've had an incredible experience in 13 years. But I want to know what your experience was. Right? She thought, well, they have these meetings. They want you to come to meetings. They want to do this. They want to do that. Like my child is shooting. They want you to come to meetings twice a week. This and you're that and this and that. And I let her air it out. And as she was saying this, I was like, no way. They want you to come to meetings? No way, right? And she's telling me all of this stuff, right? And then that opened the conversation and ended up recruiting them, right?
We should have a camera in the room then. I still don't know how that happened.
Yeah. But what ended up happening, right? Remember I told you the law of momentum, the law of catalyst. So what ends up happening, because they have credibility in the market here, right? I went from my schedule being empty with no one to see, and on an average, how many people were you guys putting in front of us on an average, on a daily basis?
13 appointments back to back, and they come to you. You don't move from the caravan. Have people. And if somebody can't take immediately, I find somebody and say, hey.
So she started putting 10, 12, 13 people in front of me a day. So you guys are supposed to say, no way. Right? So my schedule went from being empty to 10, 12, 13 appointments.
No way.
All right, see, you're getting it. You guys follow me on that? Now, let me ask you a question. Could you see yourself doing it?
Yes.
Now that I explained it to you, because when you hear the story, it just seems like a magic show. Right? It just seems like a magic show. But you see how intentional that is? Right?
I just would love it. So you diffused it by obviously hearing them out, but then you said, and then I recruited them. But can you share a little bit more about how you took someone like them, who they obviously have strong identity, and were able to make that transition?
Good point. So,
And I want to answer.
go ahead.
I was on the other side. We never talked about the business itself. We started talking about education, about family. I connected to him in a personal level, not in a business. The business I have already. I'm in the financial industry. I'm making money and I'm helping people. I'm not looking for that. And I said, oh my God, leader like that exists in WFG? No way.
So it was more. You have to remember connection is the biggest thing. You follow me? A lot of times we want to jump straight into the facts and here we are, here's what we're doing, all this stuff, right? I wanted to connect with you, right? Because once we connect on a higher vibration, the other stuff is real easy. You follow me? The other stuff is real easy. So part of connection is what? Is that getting into their world. So I was in their world, and then as they were talking, I was finding different things that they were talking about that we can connect with, right? So they start talking about prayer, and they come out like, oh, no way, oh my God, I meditate. Matter of fact, I meditated before I came here, blah, blah, all this stuff, right? And then there's a likability factor we connect. Go ahead.
I was going to say, they were your intention, they're exactly what you want, so you spend the time to connect with them. But I'm asking, but when you do like sales and appointments, you don't spend it all the time with everybody like to connect with them.
Really good question. There's general recruiting and there's specific recruiting. Follow me? There's general recruiting, but there's specific recruiting. My intention, I'm looking for a catalyst. Follow me? So like, for example, you guys had 30 guests on Wednesday night, then you had another 8 this Saturday, you had 80 the month before. There's general recruiting, right? The machine is going to bring my general recruiting in, right? But through my general recruiting, I'll give you a different scenario. Let's say you're in Africa and you're on a hunting trip with your friends, right? And you guys are hunting for buffaloes, right? What would be important to know if you're hunting for buffaloes?
Where they are.
What's that?
Where the buffalo.
Where are the buffaloes?
What a buffalo looks like.
What a buffalo looks like. Right? That'd be pretty cool, right? To know what a buffalo. What happens? What happens if you're hunting for a buffalo? You don't know what a buffalo looks like, and you're aiming at a zebra. You guys follow me on that? So in general recruiting, if you're not extremely clear of that catalyst, and that catalyst could be different things. I remember, for example, when Jeff Brookstein, right? He's a personal producer, didn't have a team, blah, 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 all this stuff. And he learned this, and he said, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Chinese couple. They have no kids, right? They're hungry. They're 6-figure plus earners. They've got credibility. They have good self-esteem, good self-confidence. They're fast learners, and they're looking for me, right? Then he's talking. Then he calls one of his friends. This is Jeff Brookshire. He says, "Hey man, I need your help." He says, "What's up?" He says, "My company's growing and expanding. I'm looking for some sharp people. I'm looking for this specific criteria. I'm looking for a Chinese couple." Boom, 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 boom. The guy goes, "Oh my God." The week before, this Chinese couple called him and said, "Hey man, I know you know a lot of people in the area. We're looking for an investment. We're looking for an opportunity. If you know anyone, keep us in mind." 1 week later, Jeff Brookshire calls him and says, "Hey man, I'm looking for a Chinese couple." He goes, "Dude, I know exactly who you need to meet." You guys know that's how James Chang joined the business, right? And then James Chang meets Jeff Brookshire, and then James Chang becomes Jeff and Michelle Brookshire's first 6-figure earner. You guys follow me? You guys follow me on that? Same way Paul found Tita. Same way Nate and Precious found Jeff Jeff Brookshire. What's that? Right? So you could be very clear and intentional. Right? So am I going to have that conversation like 12, 13 times a day? No, but I'm going to be very intentional. Right? When I'm clear on my intentions, when that person shows up, I already know, oh my God, that's the profile. That's exactly what I'm looking for. You guys follow me on that?
How did you know, how did you decide that you were looking for a married couple that was Jewish, that was, I mean, because you were very specific about it. You could have chosen anything. Why did you choose that?
Good question. My first appointment in Beverly Hills, I'm sitting down with the guy, and he says to me, he said, "Do you know where you're at?" I said, "Yeah, I'm in Beverly Hills." He says, "You know Beverly Hills is majority Persian and Jewish, right?" I go, "Yeah, yeah." And he was African American, and he goes, "You know they don't do business with African Americans, right?" I said, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I reached over, I shook his hand, I said, "Well, you just met the first person they're going to do business." Right? So he's the one that said that to me, and I said, okay, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Jewish people. Right? And that's how I came up. That's how I came up with that whole thing. Right? I got really clear on it. Where if some people might be specific, like targeting a specific community, whether it's a Filipino community, a Vietnamese community, Asian community, or Hispanic community, or African American community, I wanted to impact everybody. That's how I came up with it. Okay?
I don't think of how to word this, but essentially it's the quantity versus quality discussion. Because I feel like a lot of the time we'll meet that person and we'll say that's the guy, and it's a lot of the time not that guy, and it's the person we wouldn't expect.
That's a really good point, right? The really good point is that do not select your people too early. Now, what I mean by that, Joseph and Bathsheba fit the profile. But what impressed me with them is not so much what they said, is their ability to take immediate action. Like literally, we met that first day. The next day they came back to see me. The next day they came back to see me. We had 3 back-to-back appointments. On the 3rd appointment, they pushed all the chips in. They said, we're in. And then from then, massive action. Massive action on their part. Put a lot of pressure on them right from the beginning. Your job is to get people in front of me. My job is to help you build. Follow me? So a lot of times what happens is that we select people way too early, and we're giving them credit based on nothing that they've done. You follow me? They were successful in their world, but they weren't successful here. They didn't do nothing. You follow me on that? So I wasn't like, oh my God, they did this, they did that, they did this, they did that. I didn't become. Sometimes what happens with us, we become a fan of the new recruits so fast.
Yeah.
You follow me? Instead of making them earn it, which we're going to talk about in the fast talk, right? We got to make them earn it. I got to give you an example, right? This is why that challenge is so important. Right? I started working out right around the corner here at the Robinson, right? And my trainer, I've been working out with him for a couple of months. So he started watching my Instagram, right? So he's watching my Instagram. So I get to the gym. This is last Tuesday. I get to the gym and I started this thing. I was just like, because everybody gets there like 6:37. It's a gym that's open 24 hours. And I said to him, I said, hey man, you might get up early in the morning. He's like, yeah. I said, I want to work out at 5. It's like, dude, nobody comes to the gym at 5. I get it exactly. I want to be here by myself. Right? So we start working out at 5. And then Tuesday, I get to the gym, and he has this thing that he has me do on the treadmill. I forgot what it's called. Interval training. Right? So I'm doing my interval training, and I see him standing by the mirror. Right. So as soon as I'm done, I come over, and he has 10 different exercises that each one I have to do 10 reps each one. Right. So he says, Sean, he says, hey man, I was looking at your Instagram. I see that you like to challenge people a lot, so I got a challenge for you. Right? That's the way he started the conversation, right? He said these 10 exercises, he wrote them on the mirror, he said there's 10 exercises, we're going to do 10 sets of each one. He said, and we're going to do it in 40 minutes. He says you can do 3 reps, that means that I got to do all 10, right? And that's 1 rep. Right? Then I got to go back and do a 2nd rep, a 3rd rep, right? He says, we can do 3 in 40 minutes. We can do 5 in 40 minutes. And the next one, very few people do it, is 8 in 40 minutes. Right? And I was going back and forth. I'm looking at the exercise. I'm like, shit. Right? I said, I'm going to do 8. And he's like, 8? He says, yeah. He says, you realize that's 260 reps. I said, yeah. Right? And after I did it, I realized that I would have never done it if he didn't challenge me. You follow me on that? So a lot of times what happens with the new associate, we're talking about way too much stuff. We're talking about way too much stuff, and we overload the new associate with all this stuff. Instead of just keeping it simple, because what I want to do with the new associate is create momentum. To tell you what happens when you don't have momentum with your new associate. They don't know where to go to find out how to get licensed. And where do I go? Who do I talk to? What if I don't pass? This and that and this and that. Because there's no momentum, there's no energy, you have no leverage. You haven't created momentum. Right? Now, I want to create momentum with the new associate. Right? Now, people are motivated by two things. Fear of loss or to gain pleasure. Fear of loss or to gain pleasure. I want you to think about your base shop. Right? Think about your base shop. Think about everyone that you recruited in your base shop. Think about the people that are not around. Let me tell you what they all have in common, the ones that are not around. You did not taproot them. Listen. You did not taproot them. So from a fundamental level, if we understand, a recruit is not a recruit until he or she has a recruit and they've gone through the interview process. Right? So now, pull up the first slide. So now, here's what we're doing. We're gonna do a trial period, a 90-day trial period, before I announce this to the hire. Right? It's gonna be a trial period. So what I want to get with that new associate, I want to get a result with that new associate very fast. I want to recognize that new associate very fast. So the first 7 days, so I just recruit Nick, right? We're going to keep it real simple. Sprint Award is going to be, hey, we got one membership agreement, we got one app. That app could be his app and one recruit, right? So we can get that done in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Boom, complete one application could be your own. Bring one new business partners in your first 7 days to earn your Sprint Award. So it's 117. So you think about it. Let's say you recruited 10 people in your business. All right? Well, let's say you recruited 5 people. And they all qualify for the Sprint Award. Your base shop automatically does 5 recruits, 5 apps, the training associate. You follow me? Now, what that does, it gives me leverage on a new associate really fast. And also, guess what? It gives me some type of activity with that new associate. What do I want to do? I want to create momentum. You guys follow me on that? We recruit that next associate for them. What are we going to do? 117. Right? 1 recruit, 1 app, 7 days. Now, let me tell you, I didn't invent this. Okay, I didn't invent this. Let me tell you where I got it from. Right? So, it's not going to be in and out. What's that? She what? Oh, she has an issue? Oh, nice. Lock the door. Anyway, okay. No, let her back. Okay, so, you guys know who Rasha Dalawal is? Yes. Right? So, I went to go speak, right before I walked, I went to go speak. I only spoke to 2 teams. One, I spoke to Cash's team, right? They're #1 base shop in the entire company. And I spoke to Raja's team, right? I spoke to Raja's, in the meeting that he did where he asked me to come, you had to make at least $250,000 a year to attend that meeting, right? So I'm talking to Raja, bless you. I'm talking to Raja, we're in Texas, we're at Tiger School in October. Right, we go to Tiger School, my wife and I, and we're speakers at Tiger School, and then Raja and I are at a table together, and we're having dinner, and there's like 7, 8 base shop builders at that table. We're talking about base shop, right? So they're asking Raja, they say, hey man, like what are you doing in Canada to speed up the recruiting process? So he goes on this tangent about teaching his guys to recruit. Just recruit to recruit, right? How they, and I'm thinking about it, I'm going, oh my God, they're getting momentum right from the beginning, right? Because we're recruiting to build and develop leaders. That's a slower process. You follow me? So there's a lot going on in that conversation. There's licensing. Here's how you close. Here's the top 100, top 25. Let's qualify it down. Blah, blah, blah. There's so much conversation that's going on, and the new recruit is like, oh man, I gotta learn all this stuff. I gotta do this. They're just recruiting to recruit. So they're getting out of the box a lot faster. Oh my God, this is freaking ingenious, right? So I heard about it in October, so I'm digesting it. And then I go to Cash's event, and he rolls out a whole thing on 117. Everybody being focused on 117 and all this stuff, right? I started thinking about a hierarchy. Right now, we're recruiting. We're in a recruiting pace at 500, between 500 to 600 recruits a month. Right, that's the recruiting pace we are as a hierarchy, Synergy Financial. Right? We need to get between 1,000 to 1,500 recruits. Right? We need to get to 1,000 to 1,500 recruits on a monthly basis. Right? We need to go from 1 million. We need to go from we're right around 14 million in premium, so we need to go from 14 million to about 20 million. Right? This little shift that we make in the recruiting process, like right from the beginning, this little shift. By the way, you guys, because they're recruiting to recruit, you guys know way more than they do. You guys follow me? You guys know way more than they, like if I talk to them about half the stuff that I talked to them about this morning, their eyes would glaze over their heads. They would have no idea. You follow me on that? From the psychology standpoint, right? But all their guys, they just go, oh my God, I just got to get one. I just got to get one. All right? Once they get one. Now, think about it. What happens when you get a result?
More results. Build momentum.
I have a question. When you sit in, like, we understand the importance and the field of sprint about the getting 1 in 7 days, by the way. How do you transfer the message when you sit with new reports? Like, you still do the entire restaurant, baseball, champion fund, all this. How do you get in the message that is like, I want to get this in the world?
It's still the same challenge. Okay, good question. Leo. Okay, so the Fast Start Award is your 3-3-30 now, right? 3 applications, 3 new business partners, an associate promotion, 10 applications, 10 business partners, senior associate promotion, 25 applications, 25 business partners, and MD in the first 30 days after the AMA. Right? First 30 days after, first 30 days they got access to that, right? To do their, so if they do that within their first 30 days, whether it's 3-3-30, 10-10-30, or 25-25.
Can they wait?
What?
Can they wait?
No,
Can
no,
they
no,
show?
that doesn't have to be direct.
Okay.
They show. You guys follow me on that? Now, when you challenge them, right, this is where the challenge comes. Right, remember I told you Remember I told you my trainer, once I'm already motivated, I'm paying for a personal trainer, I show up. You guys follow me on that? And he goes, boom, here's the challenge. So we still challenging them the same way. You follow me? So in the challenge, I go, look, there's several different kinds of people that I sit down. Right? Some people, almost everybody, and like everybody that starts a business, everybody does 1-1-30. 1-1-30 is a no-brainer. Everybody can do one recruit, one app. Geez Louise, it's your damn app. You know, everybody can do that. You follow me? That's just average, right? Someone good comes in. They can do 3 recruits, 3 apps in 30 days, right? Another person comes in, they're a little bit more aggressive, they're a little bit more fired up. They can do 5 recruits, 5 apps in 30 days. A player comes in. This is a player. He or she sees themselves that they're going to move at a different pace. They can see themselves doing 10 recruits, 10 apps their first 30 days. And every once in a while, you get someone that comes in, and they are a disruptor. They're what we call a catalyst. They're the ones, let me tell you a couple of stories. There's a guy from Africa. He's Nigerian. What's his name again?
Oh, Fumble.
Daniel Pombo.
Yeah.
Daniel what?
Pombo.
Daniel Pombo. Right? I was just in Tiger Street. Daniel and his wife Pombo. How long have they been in WFG now?
3 years.
3 years. They've been in WFG for 3 years. So 3 years ago, they got recruited. Right? 3 years ago. Daniel has he has his PhD. His wife has his PhD. Him and his wife are both nurse practitioners. They're making about $500,000 a year in their business. Right? Daniel gets introduced to WFG. He sees the opportunity. But him and his wife are making $500,000 a year at their job. Right? But he sees the opportunity. What intrigues them about WFG is that although him and his wife are making $500,000, right, they don't have any time. So he gets started on a part-time basis just to kind of see what this thing's about. So he gets off to he gets challenged. He gets off to a fast start. His first year, just playing around his first year, he makes $50,000 his first year. Goes back to his wife and says, hey, babe, we weren't even really serious about this. And we made $50,000. He goes, what would happen if I quit my job and went full-time? And she says, well, quit your job, go full-time. So second year, quit his job, went full-time. The second year, they made $500,000 this second year. The third year, which is 2019, they hit CEO and made $700,000. Not everybody has that story. But there are people that join WFG that make that happen. Doesn't happen all the time, right? But I'm setting an intention. The biggest leaders in our company are being recruited right now, and the next catalyst will be direct to Sophia and I. So I'm looking for that person. Let me ask you a question. How do you see yourself? Oh, that sounds really good, Dan, but right now we got a lot of things going on, and we see ourselves as doing 1-1-30. Awesome. Let's get 1-1-30. Right? So I want to sell it high. I don't want to sell it low. I want to sell it high, scale it down to the person that I'm dealing with. So if I went to my trainer challenged me, and I told my trainer, hey, I want to do 3 reps in 40 minutes. He's like, okay, let's do 3 reps in 40 minutes. It's not his job to convince me, because he wants to know how bad I want it. You follow me? So what starts to happen with you and your new associate, you're trying to convince your new associate through doing 3-30 instead of your new associate being motivated to do the 3-3-30. So I'm trying to pull them, right, which takes a lot of energy, or I'm trying to sell them. If I got to sell you on this, I'm going to have to sell you on everything else. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
If I have to sell you on this, I have to sell you on it. I got to sell you coming to Wealth Bowl. I got to sell you becoming a client. I got to sell you to develop the top 100. I got to sell you to develop on top 25. That's a lot of freaking work. What am I looking for? I'm looking for, write this down. I'm looking for high performance, low maintenance relationships.
Mm.
I'm looking for high performance, low maintenance relationships. Most of us have high maintenance, low performance relationships. And you're constantly attracting these low maintenance, these high maintenance, low performance people into your business. You guys follow me on that? Don't you want to say, here's what you're looking for. You're looking for motivated people who want to win. You're not looking for unmotivated people to motivate. You know how many motivated people out there that want to win? And you're sitting there trying to motivate people? I don't have the energy, I don't have the time, nor the inclination, or the energy to try to motivate you. I remember one time somebody came in my office, so Chino, and it was a wife. She's like, "Can you yell at my husband? I know you used to get drone stuff. Can you yell at my husband and tell us how to get out?" I'm not yelling at my husband. If he can't figure out how to get motivated, like that's not my job. Shit, I was a drone instructor back in '91. I'm not a drone instructor now. I'm not yelling at my You guys follow me on that?
Yeah.
So part of it is you gaining clarity of what you're looking for. Follow me? Here's what that gives you now. Now you are the assessor. You're assessing them. You know why? Because you have to put yourself in a position, right, where you understand your value. Think about all the people that you recruited. Think about all the people that joined your business. Think about all those hours you wasted time. All those hours people go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, do this, I'm going to do that. And they never did any of that. Right? Think about all those hours. You're like, no, this is the one, Dan. I'm telling you, this is my catalyst. Jen, I'm telling you. And I'm like, dude, like, how many times do I got to tell you this crap? Like, don't fall in love with your new recruiter. That's the one. No, it's not the one. They ain't done stuff. Yeah. And you heard me say that 1,000,001 times, but you still like, but no, Dan, you don't understand. This, no, I do understand. It ain't the one. So they've done something. Right? So come to terms with that. Just come to terms with it. Right? You got tons of stories that happen 1,000,001 times. You go, you know what? I'm just going to submit to the system. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on the system. And the system will tell me who my catalyst is. You follow me on that? So guess what? When Joseph and Bathsheba showed up, they fit the profile. But I don't watch what they tell me, I watch what they do. Because sometimes someone can fit the profile and they're washed up. What does that mean? They're washed up. They've had so many failures that mentally they're burnt out. Like they're capable of doing it. They have all the stuff. They're just burnt out. Sometimes people reach that. Right? I want to make sure that they still got the fire of a rookie, even though they might have been around a while, right? Where they're a vet. They've made a bunch of money before, blah, 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 all this stuff, but they still got the fire of a rookie. The one that never tastes. But one thing, Bro Rich talks about this, But one thing you cannot give someone is a burning desire. Follow me on that? I want someone that's still got that fire in their belly. They're still excited and fired up. All right? So when I'm doing this right here, I want to stir their soul. Follow me on that? I want to stir their soul. Right? So this allows me to come off. It allows me to come off the gate really quick. Right? So if it's 130, right? Who do you have the most amount of credibility with? Who's your best friend? Who do we need to sit in front of? So if it was me, boom, you got to get in front of Scott again, like yesterday. It's very easy for me. We can do a three-way text. We can get them on the phone right then and there. Put me on the phone. Boom, I schedule the appointment. And I'll come in and say, we're going to go recruit. Follow me on that? Now, one of the things that I want you to look at is that a lot of times when we set goals with a new associate, right, we don't put a deadline for us to hit that goal. Follow me? Now, I want you to think about it. When there's a deadline, what does it create?
Urgency.
It creates a sense of urgency. It's something called law of diminishing intent. What does that mean, law of diminishing intent? What's that?
From the moment they leave you, they're getting more and more disinterested.
The law of diminishing intent. Right? That means that when I meet with you, I might be excited, and the more non-excited I become. Right? Which is why we need to get this done by this time. You guys follow me on that? So if you look at the filters, complete first 10 days, right? There's specific dates I want to put with the new associate. You guys follow me? The learning is in the doing. We're going to get this done by this time. We're going to get this done because they're motivated. Right? Well, how do I find out how motivated they are? Freaking ask them. Follow me? I want to do 3-3-30. Let me ask you a question. From a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how motivated are you to achieve this in the next 5 days or the next 7 days? I'm about a 7. Okay. Question. What is it going to take to get you from 7 to 10? Well, I don't really know, blah, 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 blah. Work that out. I want to get their motivation up to 10. Follow me on that? I'm going to ask some questions till I get them up to 10. Right? Now, go pull up the next slide. So here, right, people are motivated by several things, right? They're motivated, they want to be recognized. There's 3 things I want you to remember. 3 things I want you to write down. What motivates the human soul? 1, people want to feel like they're contributing. They're making a difference in other people's lives. People want to feel like they're contributing, they're making a difference in other people's lives. 2, people want to be recognized. That's why we do the 117, the Sprint Award, the Fast Start Award, the promotions. They want to be recognized. Please tell me, you have no idea how many times. This is why we put all these trophies out. You guys think this stuff is corny. People walk in there and they look at the trophies. They walk in the rooms, they look at the trophies, and they go, I want to get a trophy. I want to be recognized. I want one of these trophies with my name on it. They want to be recognized. Here's the 3rd thing. They want to make money. So if you understand those 3 points, everybody wants to be recognized, everyone wants to make a difference, and everyone wants to make money. So the psychology of the Fast Start is that I want to get you recognized as recognized as fast as possible. When I'm field recruiting, field training, My job is to teach you the crusade of what we do for family. Man, did you just see what we did for this family? Did you realize before we met with them, they didn't know what the Rule 72 is? They didn't have a financial strategy. They didn't have a game plan to get out of debt. They didn't know how they were going to pay for their kids' college education. They weren't properly covered. If something happened with that family wasn't protected. And because of us, more importantly, because of you setting the appointment, now that family has a game plan to get out of debt. Now that their kids want to go to college, they got a game plan to go to college. God forbid if something happens to the husband or the wife, that family's protected. Man, you realize the goodness that we do for people in the community, and that's just because of you. Man, how would it feel if you were able to help thousands and thousands of families out? See, a great trainer has the ability to do a couple of things. Here's how I know you're a great field trainer. A great field trainer knows how to sell the dream of the new source. Not just clothes, because some of us can close, but we don't sell a dream to the new associate. And the new associate doesn't feel that they can do it because whatever you're doing in the field is not duplicatable. And you're not transferring belief to that new associate. That's why a lot of times teams don't grow because we're going across the kitchen table thinking from a salesman standpoint. I'm just going to write a sale. I'm just going to close this deal, roll over this deal. We're not thinking about investing in the new associate. You guys follow me? You guys follow me on that? So boom, I go over comps. So psychology behind the fast start covers 3 things. 1, crusade of what we do. 2, it shows them how to get recognized. 3, it shows them how to make money. You guys follow me on that? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you want to delay your first check? How fast do you want to get your first check? Really fast? Okay. So there's 2 things that's got to happen. 1, we got to get in the field. Got to learn what we're doing. 2, you need to put full court press to get your license. You guys follow me on that? That's all in that conversation in the fast zone. Okay. Go to the next one. You guys got that?
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Okay, so thank you. So what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now to track and drive the 8-speed build? What are we using? Some of us are using VSC Pro. What are we using?
Google Sheets.
We're using what? Google Sheets, right? Okay. I want you guys to think about this. You're in the leadership development business, right? So if you're in a leadership development business, what is your job?
Develop leaders.
Develop leaders, your base job, right? So I want to utilize a couple of examples. Come here, Pavi. So let's say I got Pavi in my base. You gotta get a new book. That's an old book. All right. Start walking around with old stuff. Like, it's new stuff, right? Freshen up. Okay. Come on up. I have Denise in my base. I got Leah in my base. I got Ayala in my base. Damn, this is a base, man. So, like, see, you don't need a lot of people. You don't need a lot of people. You just, okay. So, my relationship with Ayala, I want Ayala not to need me as fast as possible. You follow me? When Ayala is a training associate, she needs me. That's why she's on 25% contract. Right? So she's learning business. I'm investing. I'm working with her team, blah, blah, blah. She gets her promotion to associate. She needs me less. If she needs me just as much when she's an associate as she's a training associate, there's no development on her part. That's what we call titleitis. You got a title, but you don't know nothing. That's why she got a bigger contract. So by the time she gets to senior associate, she needs me less because she knows more. If she's still coming to me like she was a training associate, she got the title, but she don't know what the hell she's doing. It makes more work for me as a leader. You guys follow me on that? So I want to duplicate. I want to teach her everything. Boom, she don't need me. She don't need me. She don't need me. She don't need me. None of them need me. You follow me? Why? I need me. Because I need to go get some new people. Follow me? Now here's what happens with some of you, some of us here. Some of us, we have the desire to be needed. So when you have the desire to be needed, Bobby needs me, Denise needs me, Leah needs me, Ayala needs me. Hey Dan, can you do this? Hey Dan, can you do this? Senior associate, MD. Hey Dan, can you do this? Oh yeah, let me show you how to do it. Hey Dan, I just recorded something. Oh yeah, let me do it. Oh yeah, yeah. And what it does, it keeps you small. You follow me on that? Right? So I have a desire when I find these people, I want them to be independent. So let's say, for example, Ayala's base shop, right? She's in my base shop, and her base shop can confirm 10 guests to the BPM without me. She's got her 5, 6, 7 people, they're grown calls. They can confirm 10 guests to the BPM. So I go, boom, she got 10. They can confirm, she can confirm 10. She can confirm 10. She can confirm 10. All 4 of them independent could confirm 40 guests to the BPM. You follow me? And I'm working with some new people now, training some new people, and I'm holding them accountable. They said, hey, we got 40 confirms. So her 10 confirms, she already knows, hey, from these 10, right, she understands the business, 3 going to show up to the BPM, we're going to recruit 1. Right? So she already knows how, hey, those 10 people, boom, 3 shows up. She's calling the 7. She already knows 1's going to interview, 2's going to do F&A. So she, in the mozo, she's already blocking and tackle her 10. You guys follow me on that? She's doing the same thing. She's doing the same thing. She's doing the same thing, right? Now I got a base shop that's doing double-digit recruiting without me. Because I'm training new people. But if she does 10, if she got 10 confirms, she doesn't know how to do any of that stuff. Then she's coming to me, hey Dan, can you work on this? Can you work on it? That keeps me small. You follow me? It keeps me small because now I'm not thinking that Poppy knows how to do all that stuff. She needs to be the one that's doing it in her team. I don't need to be doing it unless it's someone with high identity, blah, 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 they're making a couple of $100,000 a year, okay, I need to show you on this. But the machine that's bringing people in, they should be able to do that on their own. You guys follow me on that? And then my job is to do what? Is continue to get wide and have more independent licensed agents in my base shop. Grab a seat, you guys. Give them a round of applause. So imagine now if I had 20 independent legs in my base shop. You guys follow me on that? What if I had 20 independent legs in my base shop? You guys follow me on that? Now here's what's happening in your base shop. Here's what's happening in your base shop. This is how I know, this is how I know where the culture inside your business is small thinking. Let me tell you what's going on when the culture is small thinking, right? When you're not recruiting, you're not getting wide, you're not talking about any of this stuff, right? Everybody's standing still, there's no momentum, right? Then what starts to happen is there becomes a lot of bubblegum conversation. You know what a bubblegum conversation is?
Gossip, meaningless.
Nonsense talking. Hey, you know, I brought someone in and it's bubblegum conversation. You guys follow me? It's bubblegum conversation. Nothing's going on. There's no momentum. There's no momentum. Well, someone's so sad, you know what I mean? No momentum. Well, like somebody said something to my guest, and my guest. No momentum. Listen, when you're moving fast, let me. Has anybody ever been in a hurricane? Anybody ever been in a hurricane? You know what a hurricane like thing? If someone burps during a hurricane, do you hear the burp? If someone farts during a hurricane, do you hear the fart? You guys follow me? You guys get where I'm going? Yes. When you start hearing a lot of little, there's no momentum. Because if there was momentum, you wouldn't even hear it. Because it's moving too fast. It's moving too fast. Follow me? Leaders know how to create momentum. When your business gets noisy, you put your head down and you go to work. Follow me? You follow me on that? So leaders in the base shop, they know how to create momentum. And we're looking for, here's what we're looking for. So if our base shop is recruiting 30 people a month, right? So she's doing 10, she's doing 10, she's doing 10, she's doing 10, and collectively we're bringing 40 people in the base shop, right? So we have a base shop now. Every month is a draft because we're looking for this catalyst. We don't know when the catalyst is going to show up. When she is going to show up or he's going to show up, but we're looking for a draft, right? Now, if you're fishing, right? And let's say you're fishing and you got this little canoe. About 10 feet. That's not 10 feet, but your canoe's about 10 feet. You guys follow me on that? And it's just you. It's just a little canoe. Right? Is that right? All right? Same thing, right? Little canoe. You get out in the middle of the lake, right? And you take out your net. This is your net. You stand up on your canoe, you balance yourself, and then you go like this. And you throw it in the water. Right? Little net goes down, right? And you're waiting to catch a fish. Are you going to be waiting for a long time?
Yeah.
Why?
That's not big enough.
That's not big enough. You're fishing with a small net. So if you only got 3, 4, 5 people in your base shop, you got 2, 3, oh my God, Dan, we have 3 confirms to the BPM tonight. I know what the numbers are, Dan, but these 3 is a real 3. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that. Right? Versus someone that has a base shop that's got 40, 50 confirms to the base shop. Right? Well, what if you're going fishing? You got this big ass boat. Long boat. Right? 100-footer. And you got a huge net from the beginning of the ship all the way to the back. And then you have 20 people that has to lay out this net as the boat is moving. And it takes them an hour to lay that net down over the entire ocean. Not the entire ocean, but a big part of the ocean. Right? Net goes down. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to capture a lot of fish. Then you got quantity. Right? You bring the fishes up, and you're like, oh, not that one, 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 not that one. That's what we're doing. Right? So now I want you to think individually. I want you to think about, oh my God, we're fishing with a small net. We need to get more and more people at a faster pace into our meeting. And once we get them here, they need to be going through this system they need to be going through the 8-speed filters, and we got to speed that up on how fast. That's why they call speed filters. They're not like take your time filters. It's not slow down filters. It's not put the brakes on filters. They're called speed filters. You guys follow me on that? So now, more of us, here's what I want to happen here. I want the level of conversation that we're having here to be a higher vibration on a higher level. You guys follow me on that? I want you guys thinking bigger than you ever thought before. Not these, like knowing that you're going to win. Like absolutely knowing you're going to win. Like, hey, this year I'm making 100 grand, this year I'm making $250,000, this year I'm making that. I don't care what it looks like right now. I don't care what the circumstances are right now, but here's where we're going. And this is going down. Stop thinking about these low energy, stop creating these pictures in your mind of you losing all the damn time. Like give energy in your mind of you winning, and the end of the story is you won. You guys follow me on that? So you start to track that, right? The breakdown in the filters is always between filter 5 and filter 8. That's always where the breakdown is. Between filter 5 and filter 8. Right? Meet with spouse and partner. Create a business plan. Develop a prospect list. Complete your analysis. Match up with your trainer. Register for the next big event. Right? Get all of that stuff done. Right? We'll talk about that in a few. Go ahead next. Right? 8-speed filter checklist. You should have, right, that 8-speed filter checklist on your computer, and every single person, like for example, Denise is matched up with some of our directs, right? So I'm constantly communicating with Denise, where are they at in the filters? Where are they at? Where are they at? Well, oh, they're on filter 3. They got to do filter 4 through 8 by this time and all this stuff. So she's constantly giving me accountability on where they're at in those filters. So if you recruited 5 people into your business, where are they at in those filters? Are you tracking that? Not just your S&D doing it, not your MD doing it, your senior associate. You should know that as an associate, especially if you're here in the room. You guys follow me on that? Next. Okay. Build a bigger base shop. BSC is a custom built to connect you and your team like never before. Stop moving at the speed of paper and celebrate your growth. Try to find a way, whether you use a BSC or you're using the
Google Sheets.
The Google Sheets, right? Eventually, we want to get everybody on BSC, right? But you should have a systematic way utilizing and leveraging technology where you don't have to walk around. We used to have these big binders that we would walk around with. You don't have to have that anymore. You should be able to utilize your iPad and leverage all of that stuff via the internet. Okay? Go ahead. Okay. Taprooting, right? Taprooting is a key in the business. So one of the questions I get asked all the time is this. The question I get asked all the time is, how do I retain more of my people? That's a question that I get asked all the time. Dan, I'm recruiting, but I'm not retaining. Follow me? Now, what happens is you're going to have some people in your business, they're just going to stay around regardless of what, because they want to be part of a community, they want to feel like they belong, all of that stuff. But that's a very small part, right? Now, if you want to systematize retention in your business, here's what I want you to look at. What I want you to look at is that if you draw out your business, like so for example, if I said to Bobby, or if I said to Leo, or if I said to Batshava, I said, I want you to draw, Leo, nice haircut. Like it. Like it. If I said to Batshava, I said, I want you to draw out your business. Show me all your directs. And I want to see out of all your directs, right? I want to see out of all your directs, I want to see what's the deepest leg you have in your business right now. Right? Well, let's take a look at it. You'll do it? Okay. So Bachava, who would be the deepest leg in your base shop? Bobby would be the deepest leg. Okay. Can you show me your leg?
That's
Bobby?
all of my directs, or
Show me your, just show me your hierarchy.
okay.
Starting from Joseph and Bachava. Oh wow, you got it on. Sure. Tell us why you're doing it.
Okay. So I started with Netta. She has Steve, Billy, Sam, David, Alyssa, Sharon. They're all in the room. Peppy. Abner. Alex. There's Nick. There's Leo. There's Robert. There's Rashad. HT, etc. There's Steve in there. Edwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two more. So active.
No.
There's so many.
No. You have Jacob. You have Christina. You have Gerald.
Actually, he's first on that wall. Yeah. These are the biggest ones. Yeah. David. There's so many in there, but yeah, I have him here. Trying to think of like who's in this room right now too. River. I just got a new draft this week. So I can think of at the moment. So I can think of at the moment.
Now, if you drew, give her a round of applause. Right? So, Leah, if you could move forward.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now let's take a look at it. Right? Let's say for some reason, and then Joseph and Bathsheba, you have directs here. You have who? You have Ayelet, Denise, Leah, Alexia, Cedric, who? Florida expansion. Jersey team. Okay, so let's say people are motivated by what? Fear of loss of gameplay. All right, Irina's in there, okay. People are motivated by what? Fear of loss of the gain pleasure. Now, when you look at this, what's the dream here? The dream here, someone in here is going to get big. I don't know who it is. There was a time where this name right here was Eden Christiana Malek, and Dan Charlier was one of these names, with one of these legs. You follow me? There's going to be a whole bunch of people that quit. We don't know who they are. Joseph and Bathsheba might be a story. Pavi might be a story. Netta might be a story. Leah might be a story. Denise might be a story. Ayala might be a story. We don't know who it is. Right? But we do know one thing. Our job is to create leverage. People are motivated by, hey, you're lost, I'm getting pleasure. Right? So let's say Joseph and Bathsheba decided they're like, well, you know, we just decided that, you know, and wish they would never do that. Right? Never. It would never happen. But let's say they decided, well, you know, we think we're going to go back into the traditional industry, blah, blah, blah. Right? And this decide, boom, they quit. Then I go, sorry to hear that. Right? I go, sorry to hear that. Ayala, Denise, Leah, Pavi, Jersey team, Florida team, secretary team, election team, become director. You follow me? I actually make more money if they're out of the picture. You guys follow me on that? Let's say Pavi gets upset. Pavi, well, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'll just go work at Burger King. Sorry to hear that. That whole leg now becomes director Joseph and Bathsheba. Joseph and Bathsheba actually makes more money if Pavi's out of the picture. But we want her in the picture. You guys understand that? Right? This is why, see, when you taproot, so let's say, who's Netta? Netta? Right here? Okay, so let's say Netta. Oh, I don't know if this is not working for me, blah, blah, blah. She quit. That whole leg becomes the Pavi. You realize that? Let's say, who's this? Let's say Nick. Let's say Nick goes, oh, I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. That whole leg becomes Director Pavi. You follow me on that? My point is that once you learn how to taproot, you get, what's that?
I said a lot of leverage there.
Exactly. So once you learn how to do it, once you learn how to taproot, you create leverage. Doesn't really matter. I want you in business with me, but I don't need you in business with me. You guys follow me on that? What if this leg is just Pavi? And just Joseph and Bathsheba and Pavi. And Pavi's not taprooted. Joseph and Bathsheba doesn't have leverage on Pavi. So now they're trying to motivate her, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. I want you to think about this. The sun, no matter how bright it is, if I take a pan of water and I put it outside, and the sun's up there, it's radiating all this heat, it's not going to boil the water. Maybe the water will dissipate, but it's not going to boil. But if I take the energy of the sun and I put it underneath the pot, guess what happens? 212 degrees happens really fast. Water starts to boil, right? So somewhere within this leg, right? So Joseph and Bathsheba are smart. Somewhere within this leg, they're going to find, it might be this guy Edwin, which is what? Which is the hot explosion. The hot, what's that? He's in the room? Where's Edwin at? Okay, so Edwin might be the hot explosion. Edwin comes in, he wants to do 25, 25, 30. He wants to move fast and all this stuff. Now Joseph and Bathsheba lock in on him and create a reverse fire in this whole leg. Right? And that's what a rabbit does. You follow me? Give you an example. The Jay and Ronnie was 17 deep in one leg. They were 17 deep in one leg. Everyone above that leg quit the business. And Jay and Ronnie became direct us. You guys follow me on that? So if there's one thing you're going to master, you got to master taproot. And the way you master it is you get that 1-1 serving, 33-30, 5-5-30, 25-25-30. You guys follow me on that? Now, the other reason you want to get wide, like Poppy's starting to do now, right? She's got to develop a couple of more legs, right? She's soon, right, going to get her SMD promotion. So when she gets her SMD promotion, Joseph and Bathsheba probably should be looking at it going, okay, I want to give my mentor, I want my mentor to grab my strongest leg. The leg with the most amount of momentum. Leg with the most amount of momentum. So when this was my base shop, right? When this was my base shop, I wanted Marlette to have the strongest leg. Not like, well, you know, I'm not really that wide, and why do I have to give an exchange leg? And oh, why do I have to? When? You have no momentum. You don't know how to build. One time in your career, you're going to do that, and you want to give your upline a weak exchange leg, but yet you become an SMD. Now you want to take strong exchange legs when you weren't willing to give a strongest. You see how that's small thinking? So when I gave when Marlette took my strong, I said, hey, he said, hey, which leg do you think I should take? I said, I think you should take the strongest one. Which one is to you is strong and why? Well, Selwyn Farrer, they got 25 licensed agents. They're averaging 20 recruits a month. They're averaging 50,000 per year. That's the leg I want you to take. All my other legs didn't have activity. I had Louise. I had all these people in there. Didn't know whether they have no activity, right? But here's what I know. I said, man, one time in my career, I give a strong exchange leg. For the rest of my career, I can tell that story. You follow me? And I can always take strong exchange legs because I gave a strong exchange leg. So there's a congruency there. You follow me on that? So now if I looked at this and they were getting ready to get promoted, right? Pavi was getting ready to take her promotion, I would find out which of these legs has the most amount of activity in recruiting, production, and licensed agents and help families and all of that stuff. And that would be exchange leg. And if Pavi's smart because she's staying in the base and getting wide and going deep in the base and she's not focused on a title. You follow me? Which most people that run for the title, you might have the title, but she will smoke you long term. Actually, what she's doing is extremely bright. She had more people at the Wealth Bowl. She had more people at the Wealth Bowl on her team than some of my SMDs. Yeah, how many people you had at Wealth Bowl? 45. She's not even SMD yet.
22.
22 what? 22 in here today. So she's playing a different game. You guys follow me on that? Right? And then you know how I know when people are starting to move? A lot of bubblegum talk starts happening. Bubblegum talk. Whenever I hear bubblegum talk, you ain't got nothing going on. Whenever I hear bubblegum talk, I ask one question. Where are you at for the month? You know what I usually hear when I hear bubblegum talk? 0 recruits, 0 points, made no money. Because if you were at 4 or 5 recruits, you wrote 10 apps, you made 20 grand, you ain't having no bubblegum talk because you're too damn busy. You guys follow me on that? Okay. Let's pull up the next one. I made my point with that?
Yes.
Okay. Recruiters' mentalities, builders to max out profit. Go wide first and go deep. You can't have grandbabies until you have what?
Babies.
Does that make sense? Okay, very simple way to understand that. Next. Wide and deep, go ahead. With this profitability, depth, and stability. What does that mean? So the wider you are, right, the wider you are, the more profit you have. The deeper you are in that legs, the more stable you are with that leg. You guys follow me on that? Yeah. Okay. Let's go, Leo. Geometric progression. A recruit is not a recruit until he or she has a recruit and they've gone through the 8 speed filters. Pull up the whole slide. That's the whole slide. A leg is not a leg until it is at least 4 deep. So I want you to consider that. I want you to look at your business, right? I want you to look at your business and go, hey man, I've been recruiting, but I haven't been recruiting with a purpose, and I haven't been building anything. So if you look at Poppy's leg right there, she's building something. You follow me? Now she has to be more strategic. So if I'm looking at this, if I'm Joseph and Shaba, I'm looking at this, I'm going, okay, what's going on in what's the markers? I'm going, what's that? Okay, so I'm looking at, okay, how do I create momentum in Cedric's leg? All right, where's Cedric at? How do I create momentum in Cedric's leg? Okay, Cedric's leg needs to be 4 deep. How do I get Cedric 4 deep? Right? How do I create momentum in Alexia's leg? Where's Alexia at? Alexia's leg needs to be 4 deep. I don't know if it's 4 deep now. How do I create a fire underneath Leah? Right? Leah's leg needs to be 4 deep. How do I create a fire underneath Denise? Denise's leg needs to be 4 deep. Ayala's legs needs to be 4 deep. You follow me on that? So you could be more intentional now. Poppy's like going, okay, I got this lady Abner, I got Alex here, but hey, these 2 people are missing here. You follow me? Sharon, there's 2 people missing here. Sari, there's 3 people missing here. Come on in. Jacob, there's 3 people missing here. You see how that's happening? Franklin, there's 1 person missing here. Gregory, there's 1 person missing here. So what Poppy should be doing, she needs to find out who the hell is this guy Gregory and how do I get him 1 recruit? You guys follow me on that? Because I need to make this leg 4 deep. Who's this lady Tamara? How do I get her 1 recruit? Because I need to make this leg 4 deep. Who the hell's Jacob? And how do I get Jacob a recruit? And how do I get that recruit a recruit, that recruit and the recruit?
Coach Jacob has 2.
Okay, so we need to know who those 2 recruits are. You follow me on that? Who the hell's Alex? I need to get Alex a new recruit. So now it's more intentional. You guys follow me on that? So if I look at it like this, I could go, okay, I got certain legs. Now she's building something. It's very intentional. Hey, we gotta get this lady Seppi. Instead of talking, here's the mistake we make. We meet with Seppi. Oh, Seppi, where are you at in your 52-hour course? What can I do to help you? Let me show you how to study. Let me do this. Let me show you how to IUL work. No, we gotta get Seppi a new recruit. You guys follow me on that? Because what's going to motivate Seppi? Fear of loss, gain pleasure. Human nature. What do they get fired up about? What moves them inside? What moves them inside? They want to be recognized. They want to help people. They want to make money. You guys follow me on that? What about, were you saying something? Okay. What if Leah's leg looked like this? What if Denise's leg looked like this? What about if Ayala's leg looked like this? You guys get where I'm going? Right? Most of you, if you look at your business, you put your business down, right? You don't know where the hot spots. I want you to know, where are the hot spots? Where are the hot spots in my business that I need to focus on? So if I'm looking at Poppy, I go, Poppy, you got a whole bunch of hot spots that you should focus on the next 10 to 15 days. So now you go do 10, 15 recruits in your base, right? But they're very specific. They're very specific. Boom, now you got 4, 5, 6, 7 legs that are 4 deep. And what does the business format system say? What does the business format system say about 4 deep?
A leg is not a leg.
A leg is not a leg until what? It's at least 4 deep. It also says a team will have a life of its own once you develop at least 2 levels of leadership. Okay, what does that mean? Where's Netta? Okay, Netta, right? It's 4 deep. Nick, where's Nick at?
Right here.
Nick is 4 deep, right? So where should Pavi's attention be? Pavi's attentions should be to these legs right here that are not 4 deep. Her relationship with Nick is giving her feedback on his team. But Nick is doing all the field training, hiring interviews, all of that stuff, because why? A team will have a life. So Pavi should have 2 teams in her base shop that has a life of their own. You follow me? So if I'm Pavi and Nick is in my base shop and Netta is in my base shop, I look at them like they're SMDs running their teams. And they're just giving me feedback. Nick is like, hey, we had 10 guests. We got 3 interviews. Boom, I'm doing 2 interviews. I got 4 of them matched up with this person, that person. Here's our numbers for the month. We've got 2 recruits. We picked up 3 apps, boom, 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 all the stuff. Because Pavi's now energy is in these other legs. You guys follow me on that? But if a team will have a life of its own once you develop at least 2 levels of leadership, right? So if a team does not, so if Pavi does not have this, right? She doesn't have 2 levels of leadership. Everyone's kind of like this. Sorry, Alex, Franklin, Christina, and it's kind of like spread out. The recruiter, no one's 4 deep and all this stuff. Here's what Pavi's doing. She's trying to be everything for everyone. You guys follow that? Whew, you guys get this. You guys are going to make millions of dollars if you get this. Now, what happens? This legs become 4, 5, 6 deep. It becomes independent. This legs become 4, 5, 6 deep. It becomes independent. As she's getting wider, now, what about if she got 5, 6 legs in that base that's independent? That could do 10 recruits a month. Now she's at 50, 60 recruits in a base shop. They're picking up 40, 50,000 in premium. They're doing 30, 40 apps. She's making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year. So I taught Jay this. That's what he's doing at his base. You follow me on that? This becomes fun. Here's the deal, you guys. Here's what you have to remember. You know what's great about our business? What's great about our business, you're going to see other leaders winning, right? You ain't got to love bomb. You ain't got to be like, some of you love, like in the inner city, we used to call it people jocking other people. Oh my God. Like they're starstruck of other people, right? You know our business, all you have to do is learn how to recruit and tap. Once you know how to recruit and taproot, you don't have to idolize anyone. All the people that you're idolizing, here's what they know how to do: recruit and taproot. It's not like we're playing football and we're playing basketball or we're in some sports or entertainment and all of this stuff. All the individuals know how to do is recruit and taproot. So learn how to recruit and taproot. No matter where you go, you got to recruit and taproot. You guys follow me on that? Pretty cool stuff. That should be a huge takeaway on geometric progression. Explode your business. Go. The super taproot, system to maximize taproot. Build permanent width by going temporary deep to build a builder's exchange. Taproot aggregation system, get your associate field trained team immediately. Help them master the recruiting skills. Everyone joining your team must get constant personal communication from upline. What is constant personal communication? Huh?
Every day.
Not going 24, 48 hours.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you have a newborn baby, do you ever leave that baby alone by itself? Why? What was that? What was all giggling about? What was that?
He said it kill itself.
What's that?
He said it would kill itself.
Okay. Well, babies are born to live.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you not leave them by themselves? Right? You realize a new recruit, same exact thing. The minute you recruited them, the minute that you did the hiring interview, the minute they walk out your office to those doors, they're already thinking about quitting. They start second guessing themselves. People with a lot of doubt. They start second guessing themselves. Can I really do this? Is this really for me? Blah blah blah. You know how we have buyer's remorse. We make a decision based on emotional high, and the more we move away from it, we have that cool down factor. It's almost like I used to teach it like a warm bath, right? Everybody ever had a warm bath?
Yes.
Water's really hot. You know, you put your feet in it. You get in there, it's really hot. Then once your whole body gets in there, your body simmers down to it. It's like, oh, muscles all relaxed, right? And then you get out of the water, and as soon as you start walking, what happens? Cold. You get cold. Right? So you should already know that with your new associates. No matter how fired up they are when they meet you. The challenge is, some of you know this stuff, but then you start to believe all the stuff that your associates tell you. Oh my God, no, there's a desperation there. No, this is the one, oh my God, this one's gonna do it better. All the stuff, you start doing all of that stuff, and you let a day, 2 days go by without talking to that new associate. Or they're not on GroupMe, or you're not texting them, or you're not personally communicating with them. You follow me on that? You got to constantly pour belief into them, right? So whatever it is that you're telling them that at an interview, hey, every day say, hey, Nick, tell you, man, I just got a feeling. I've been doing this for a while, bro. You're going to be freaking awesome in this. You're going to freaking blow up. Let me tell you why. You're a great leadership. You're a great speaker. You know how to close. Man, guys, people like you got an awesome wife, your kids, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? So even though he doubts himself, what he feels is that someone believes in him more than he believes in himself. Like, God, this dude really believes in me. Wow, this lady really believes in me. You follow me? They're constantly reinforcement, constant reinforcement, right? And over a period of time, as he or she starts to get results, they're going to start believing in themselves. You know what I mean? So as I started getting more results, I started telling myself, I said, man, Marlette knows how to pick him, dude. Like, he was a stud. I am a stud. Right? And I started talking to myself that way as I started getting results. Right? When I got my ring, man, I told you I was going to do it. Man, all this stuff, right? Then you start to believe it yourself. But that takes some time. Follow me on that? Okay. Let's go there. Go on. Okay. Now you look at this, right? Month 1, right? Help each recruit from month 1 get 3 new recruits. That's a total of 12. Remember, I did a retreat with one of the founders of our company, Monty Home. And Monty showed us this, and he said how he went from 3 new directs, and he built a team of over 1,000 people in 6 months. Just with what I'm talking about, right? But he was very strategic, right? My point that I'm making to you is that you've been doing it non-strategically. What about if you got strategic in your building? You guys follow me on that? So when I'm showing you this right here, I'm showing you how to strategically do it. You've been doing all of this with no strategy. What about if you had a strategy? What about if you were intentional? What about if all that stuff we talked about this morning, boom, you had it, you were in control of the conversations that you were having. You're assessing, you're not being assessed. You're getting into their world, right? They're not getting into your world. Follow me? All these things that we talked about, now here's what early on, you guys, here's what I didn't want. I never wanted to chase a title. You want big title, no money? No title, big money. Give me no title, big money. Follow me on that? You call me EBC, SEBC, FBC, CEO, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Right? But here's what does matter. What matters to me is my ability to be effective. Choose to be effective. Whatever it is that you do, choose to be effective. Because if you're effective, you'll get the results. If you're effective, right? So imagine now, if you made an aggressive move, right? You go get 3 directs. You're focusing on, now you might have to get 15 new directs to find 3 people that's going to go say, hey, I can go do 3, 330. Some of them are going to say 117. Some of them are saying 5, 530. And you go get 3, right? Next to them go 3. That's what? Help each recruit from month 1 get 3 new recruits. That's 12 recruits in your base. Right? Now, help each recruit from month 2 get 3 new recruits. Now your base is at 39 total. Help each recruit from month 3 get 3 new recruits. It's at 120. That's called geometric progression. Help each recruit from month 4 get 3 new recruits. That's 360 recruits. Help each recruit from month 5 get 3 new recruits. That's 1,000 new recruits. This team is no longer an S&D team. It's an SEBC. This team, I mean Miracle Mom. Follow me that? So we run that gameplay, right? Through a geometric progression, right? You know how many SMDs will come out of this? You know how many $100,000 earners will come out of this? You know how many $250,000 earners will come out of this? You know how many MDs will come out of this? Right? And we'll hit it right before convention. Right? So the question becomes for you is this. If you keep doing it the way you've been doing it, with no strategy, no game plan, you're kind of like throwing things on the wall, right? Instead of being very strategic about it, right? And mastering your craft, right? We shift that to now you go from being a rookie to turning into a pro. See, what I wanted to do today, guys, here's what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is sometimes what happens is, give you an example. Let's say, like, it kills me every time I drink water off. I used to look at people that did that. I mean, that's so pretty. Like, drinking water on this. Now I'm drinking water. Drug selectors never drink water on this, right? Now I'm good. Woo. So careful what you say. I used to watch people on the treadmill, and they're like walking on the treadmill. I used to say, wow, walking on the treadmill. Like, turn that thing up and start running. Now I'm walking on the treadmill. Anyway. What was the point I was making again? hey, here's what I wanted to be able to accomplish, right? Sometimes what happens is that our system can be very confusing because there's a lot of moving parts, right? So sometimes when we look at it, we're looking at all these pieces on the floor, right? And we don't know where to start. But the problem is, no one has ever showed you what the picture is supposed to look like. You follow me? So if I say, hey, this is what the picture looks like, now we have all the pieces, prospecting, the approach and contact, presentation, follow-up, startup, duplication, we have all of it. Now that you see the picture, say, oh, okay, this is what I'm trying to build. This is what it looks like. Now the pieces are easy to put together because you see what the picture looks like. You guys follow me? So I want you to write this down. It must be built 3 times. What you're building must be built 3 times. First, you must build it in your mind. So, okay, I'm going to have a team with 500 people. I'm going to have a team of 1,000 people. Then you picture it of what it looks like. So next time you're at a big event, you're on stage speaking, it's 1,000 people there. You go, boom, this is what my team looks like. Or you go on the internet, you pull up a picture of someone speaking in front of a crowd of 1,000 people. You look at that, you put that on your dream board, and you say, boom, this is what my team's going to look like. 300 people, 500 people, 1,000 people. Create that picture in your mind. Second is what? You got to have a strategy on how you're going to do that. How are you going to build 100 people, 200 people, 300 people, 500 people? Boom, I just gave you a game plan. Geometric progression. Where you can go, recruiting is not addition. Recruiting is multiplication. Recruiting is not addition. Recruiting is multiplication. You got a system strategy for 117, 3330, 5530, 101030, 252530. Right? So now you go boom. We'll go get 3 directs. I might have to go get 15 to find 3 that are going to do this. These 3 legs. 1, 2, potentially 1 of these. It's 3 legs. Right? Month 1, help each recruit for month 1 get 3 new recruits. Goes 12. Next month, we're going to go from 12 to 39. How are we going to do it? We're going to help each recruit from month 2 get 3 new recruits. That's 39. The next month, we're going to get 120. How are we going to do that? We're going to get each recruit from month 3 to get 3 new recruits. That's 120 total. The next month, we're going to get 360 recruits. Help each recruit from month 4 get 3 new recruits. That's 363. The next month, we're going to break 1,000 recruits. Help allow yourself to say that. On month 5, we're going to break 1,000 recruits. Follow me? Allow yourself to say it. No way.
Yes.
Really? No way. Right? So allow yourself to start saying it. Right? Because here's what's going to happen. Your subconscious mind is going to say, no way. There's no way. Right? You go, yes way. There is a way. And I have a strategy to do it. Follow me? Now, here's what's going to happen. Created a picture in your mind. You got a strategy. Now, I got a picture. I got a strategy. Now, when I'm meeting with people, when I'm recruiting people into a vision. Follow me? I'm recruiting people into a vision. This is what we're building. We're in the process of building up a team of 1,000 agents to go help families. That person might be the ones responsible to bring you 10, 15, 20, 30, right? If you're big, see, once you have a bigger vision, you got a big vision, then you'll enroll people that will help you in achieving that bigger vision. You guys follow me on that?
Yes.
Pretty cool stuff?
Yes.
Okay, Leo. Okay, now, in order to get big, you cannot do it all by yourself. All right, pull up the whole slide. You cannot do it all by yourself. This is where there's two laws that I want you to be conscious of. Right? One is the law of averages. The other one is law of large numbers. Two mindsets that I want you to be conscious of. One is the abundant mentality, and the other one is the scarcity mentality. Okay? Now, what is the scarcity mentality?
I don't have enough.
What was that? If I give, I will not have. Oh, that's such a great way to put it. If I give, I will not have. Now think about this. If I give, I will not have. What does that mean? If I give, I will not have. What does that mean?
Fear.
Fear? What's that? Lack. Doubt. You're constricted. What law are you violating with that mindset? Huh? The law of receiving. Okay, how does that show up? The scarcity mentality. How does that show up?
Not telling yourself positive affirmations.
Not telling yourself positive affirmations. How does it show up in your business?
Concentrate on the negative.
Don't match up,
You're
shielding.
listening to this narrative in your mind and yourself.
Right. You ever seen? I used to call it the mother hen effect. I used to call it the mother hen effect. You ever seen the chickens? They keep all their chicks. They keep them all in one place. All the ducks, they keep everybody. You have to say like this, right? So what ends up happening too when you have a scarcity mentality, you have this overruled feeling to feel that you need to control everything. Right? When you need to control everything, it's like I call it mother hen. You're controlling everything. You must give up control to gain control. You got to learn to let go. You follow me? So if I got someone in my base shop, that is like, hey, I'm ready to do this, I'm ready to do that, I'm ready to do one-on-one, I'm ready to... Why not hold them back from doing that? Go. No, they don't have it perfect yet. Well, how are they going to get perfect? You follow me? No, it needs to be perfect before you start. Nothing starts perfect. You're going to be bad before you become good. You're going to become good before you become excellent. You're going to become excellent before you become outstanding. You're going to make some screwed up phone calls. I've done a gang of screwed up phone calls. I screwed up a lot of one-on-one appointments. By the way, some of us have this governing belief that people need to walk into this perfect environment in order for them to prosper. Let me tell you how much BS that is. I didn't come from a perfect environment. Somebody be like, oh my God, dude, you got trained by Ed. Oh my God, that must have been awesome. It wasn't. You think Ed was sitting down with me, Dan, let me show you how to do your work. You think, hey, let me show you how to do a one-on-one. Hey, let me show you how to do a kitchen table. Hey, let me show you how to do that. You think Ed was doing that with me? Hell no. I figured out all that crap by myself. You know what Ed did with me? He sold me a big vision. And then we went and got 810Y and challenged me. You know how I figured how to do the kitchen table presentation? You know how I figured out how to sell the Be Well? Right? I figured that crap out by myself. We had a trainer, a wholesaler. His name was Jim Dillstone, right? When Transamerica Life was Western Reserve. So he came in the office. He came to train. You know how the wholesalers come here, right? And Maulet's telling me, he says, hey man, you gotta get your shit together because I ain't got time to do all this stuff. You need to figure shit out. I was like, okay. That was my conversation, right? Because I was very motivated. I knew my mentor wasn't gonna sit me, hey, let me show you how to run the illustration. Ed, are you freaking kidding me? I can't do this, right? So Jim Dillstone came down. I said, hey Jim, Dan Chaulier, director at Maulet. I'm gonna be this top guy. I need your help. He's like, what's going on? Hey, I need you out of this environment. I need you to come to my house. I want to buy you some lunch, and I want you to teach me everything you know about this video. When's the earliest you can come to my house? Oh, I can come there tomorrow. Boom. Look at what. He came to my house, little 900 square foot apartment. We sat around my kitchen table, pulled out his laptop, right? Boom. He started going to work. Make sure you have boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. Okay, took him to Denny's, sat down, we ordered his meal, sat down, and right then and there, right where Jim Dillstone, I said, here's what I'm doing, right? I started going over this right here. Here's my team, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm gonna build this leg, this leg, this leg, this leg. We're gonna do 50 apps. I'm gonna do 30 personal, because I'm gonna field train. I went all over this with him in the thing. He's like, holy shit, you getting ready to do something? I said, yeah. I said, don't tell him all that about it. This is where we go down. As soon as I'm appointed, I'm going to put my name on 30 apps, and I need your help. It's like, okay. So as soon as I got a license, boom, put my name on 30 apps. My first week, right, I called Ed. I said, hey, man, Sunday, because we used to do meetings like this every Sunday, right? So I just got licensed. So I said, Sunday, before we start, because we called this Alexander training. Right, we did this every Sunday for 11 years straight. We did this, right? So I'm like, hey, Sunday, before we start Alexander training, I need to meet with you in your office. He's like, okay, what's going on? So we get in the office. I go to Ed's office. I take out my bag, and I've got 15 apps from that week. Right? All the apps, all paper apps, all checks on it, all the signatures. And everything in between, I don't have filled out. I got all the basic information, address, all this stuff. And I said, hey man, show me how to fill this out. He's like, Chaulier, how the hell did you get all these checks and all these signatures and you ain't got nothing filled out? I was like, I'm not selling the product, I'm selling me. I'm not close. So we sat down, Maulet and I sat down, and we went through and we were filling up, and he was motivated to help me at that point, because that means I just did 60,000 points in his base. You guys follow me on that? But I wasn't waiting to learn everything before I go out. That's why we say you can learn more 1 hour in the field than 10 hours in the classroom. When the catalyst comes in, they're going to move at a different pace. The fact that you need me to sit down with you and show you this and show you that, you ain't a freaking catalyst. Read, go through, maybe you're a catalyst, but you don't know you're a catalyst. Have you ever seen a tiger at a zoo? They're locked up in the damn cage. Like, oh, this fool don't know. You follow me? Because you might be a catalyst, but you don't know you're a damn catalyst. It's like the eagle that's hanging around with a bunch of chickens. The eagle doesn't know that he's an eagle or she's an eagle. because he's hanging around a bunch of chickens. So read the law of the catalyst. It says, oh, I got that trait. Oh, I got that trait. Oh, I got that trait. I got that trait. Oh my God, I'm misdiagnosed. All this time I'm thinking like I'm a damn chicken. I've been acting like a chicken. I've been quacking like a damn chicken, and I'm a freaking eagle. You follow me? You follow me? Empower yourself with that statement. Empower yourself with that. And go, okay, boom, right? Because I got a feeling. Bless you, baby. Here's a real reason I did this meeting. There's some catalysts in here. That's why I did a Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. There's some catalysts in here. But you're active, you're carrying yourself, you're thinking like this thing is like something else, or it's gonna take long and all of it. It's not. It's just you deciding that it's time to spread your wings. You follow me on that? It's time to spread your wings. And listen, you guys, it's the scariest thing to spread your wings. Like when a mother eagle, right? When a mother eagle is building a nest, right? It climbs to the highest point of the mountain. The highest point of the mountain, right? And it makes this nest the most comfortable nest for the little baby eagles, right? And when they're in that nest, they're real comfortable, right? And every day the mother eagle goes out, gets the prey, does the hunt, and comes back and spreads the food out, and they're all eating. Everyone's like comfortable, pillow, all this stuff, right? And at some point, here's what the mother eagle has to do. The mother eagle starts plucking the nest, and the nest becomes the most uncomfortable space to be in. Because now it's got pipes. Right? So you talk about right? And it becomes this place where you're not comfortable anymore. They become uncomfortable. Then the mother eagle has to go through another process. The mother eagle grabs the little one, takes them to the highest point of the mountain. Right? Looks at him, drops. Right? And a lot of times they won't open their wings because they're so scared. And they'll drop. The mother eagle watches them. And if they don't open their wings, picks them back up, brings them back up. Repeats that process again. They don't open their wings, picks them back up. Repeats that process again. Nope, they didn't open their wings. Bring them back up. Repeats that process, the little eagle opens up his wings, and it's the last time they see their mom. Follow me on that?
No way!
No way! Right? No way! You guys follow me on that? Some of you have been dropped like 20 times. Damn! Right? You guys follow me on that? Here's my point on the matchup system that you have to give people an opportunity to open their eyes. Right? Now, you have to give them two things. One, you got to position them where they're getting feedback and feed forward. Now, in order for them to get feedback and feed forward, part of the reason that they're afraid to go out on their own is they lack two things. They lack self-confidence and self-esteem. They lack self-confidence and self-esteem. It's usually not a skill set issue. I have to build their self-confidence and self. Because I've been in the field with some people, you guys early on, and I remember telling Marlette, I said, dude, really? This person is interesting in the field. They're like beyond horrible. And I never forget, Marlette said to me, Marlette said, Cholier, here's the difference, dude. They believe they're good. Do you believe that? You look at somebody, you go like, damn, they're like, and they believe they're good. So because they believe they're good, like you ever had someone to say something that was totally wrong and you believed it just because the way they said it? You guys follow me on that? People say, because they believe they're good, so they say it with a certain amount of certainty. I had people say stuff to me and I go, man, is that true? Like I had to second guess it. I was like, that must be true. They're pretty confident in saying. Then I go back and do my research. I go, that's not true. You guys follow me on that? Yeah. So you have to build their self-confidence and build their self-esteem. Well, how do you do that? You do that by, you want to constantly be the person that tells people why they're good. You want to constantly be the person that reinforces to people on why they're good. Right? So we might do an appointment, right? The appointment goes well. And I go, hey, Nick, so let me tell you why that appointment went well, bro. You got a tremendous amount of credibility in your market. People in your market, they love you and they trust you. You're a great edifier. That's why the appointment is so easy. Without you, without your credibility, without the things that you've done, this appointment would have been tough. So majority of the appointments that I've done with Bathsheba and Joseph, the reason that they were so easy is because they had so much credibility in the market. So I kept reinforcing that to Bathsheba. I was like, dude, we can do this all day long. People love you. You got tons of credibility. And every now and then I would ask the people, I says, what did Bathsheba say to you? She's just so excited. She's just so excited about what she's doing. And we know her from the community. We respect her and her husband. And we want to see what they're doing. Because they're so excited. But if she doesn't have credibility in her market, right? So I want to say something to her that's believable to her. And then she goes, wow. Right? Now, she doesn't associate the success with, Dan, you're so good. She associates the success with, they're so good, that's why it's easy for me to train. See the difference? Right? You see the difference? Sometimes what we do, we associate their success to us. So then now, if I associate their success to me, guess what Joseph and Bathsheba thinks they need all the time? Me. You follow me on that? But if I associate their success to them, it builds their confidence, right? My relationship with them now is more of a, where I'm giving feedback, right? I'm giving them feedback in the base. Okay, this is what you guys need to do this, do this. More like a consulting feedback because they already have the self-confidence, self-esteem within themselves. Now I got them independent. I can go grab someone else in the base and work in the base. You guys follow me? That's why we say it's a leadership development business. And the matchup system allows you to do that. Now, if you don't harness the matchup system, right? So it says, develop recruits that can set appointments, get in the field, get result, matchup recruit with trainer, all for individual appointment, matchup creates trust, matchup gets more team in the field, recruits should see consistently in the field with matchup, the system works, writing agent has to follow up on all written policies, must deliver their policies. Right, pull up the next one. Right, the new recruit is matched up with the field trainer by the upline, right? You can match up. So the new recruit is matched up with the field trainer by the upline, right? So for example, if Pavi, if this leg, and let's say for example, this leg and this leg are leadership legs, right? Which means that they know how to make phone calls, they know how to do one-on-ones, kitchen tables, blah, blah, blah. these leaders right here should be able to manage their teams. So if Nick has 10, 15 guests in here, Nick needs to be the one that goes, okay, this is who I'm doing an interview with, this I'm doing a field training with, I'm field training this person. And if Nick needs help, he shoots out to Poppy, hey, I need help with a field training. I need help with this person, blah, 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 all this stuff. But Nick should be able to handle that leg. Netta should be able to handle that leg. You follow me? And then Pavi, what happens is this. Write this down. If you don't learn to delegate, you will stagnate. If you don't learn to delegate, you will stagnate. If you don't learn to delegate, you will stagnate. What does that mean? So if Pavi, or example, Joseph and Bathsheba, right? Joseph and Bathsheba, when they're looking at this leg, they should already be looking at, if I'm Joseph and Bathsheba, I'm looking at, what is the exchange leg here? Right? So let's say Joseph and Bathsheba go, most likely Netta will be the exchange leg. So Joseph and Bathsheba should be working on this leg right here to drive this leg even deeper, form a good relationship with this leg right here, because this is going to be the exchange leg. And then Pavi goes, okay, if that's going to be the exchange leg, this is my hierarchy right here. So this is where I'm putting all my boom, 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 and have Joseph and Bathsheba working on this leg. Or whether it's this leg, whether it's this leg, whether it's this leg. You guys follow me on that? But if Pavi is not delegating, right, and she feels like she needs to do everything herself because she's doing mother hen, right? So now she's everything to this leg. 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 Then what happens is she doesn't create the environment. She doesn't create the environment for people to grow. Now, here's what happens. Everybody in the base shop, what happens is everybody in the base shop here goes, oh, well, Pavi didn't tell us who's going to do the one-on-one. Oh, Pavi didn't tell us who's going to do the recruiting interview. Oh, Pavi, who's this? Everybody's coming to one person to ask questions. There's no delegation. There's no levels of leadership. Let me ask you guys a question. Well, there's only a couple of people out of this whole office. There's only a couple of people that I speak to. I speak to Joseph and Bathsheba, obviously. I speak to Ayala. Sometimes I speak to Nick. Sometimes, well, all the time. I speak to Leah all the time, and I speak to Pavi all the time. Everybody else I don't talk to. I only speak to 4 people. Why don't I talk to everybody here? Don't need to. I speak to 4 people to move the whole room. You follow me on that? How many people is Pavi speaking in her team? How many people are you speaking on your team? How many people are you speaking on your team? I want to delegate, 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 delegate. Give feedback, give feedback, give feedback, delegate, give feedback. Because I want to build levels of leadership. You guys follow me on that? That's what the matchup system is all about. But you got to pay attention to the matchup system. People are not getting resolved. You got to jump in there and give them feedback. Give them some coaching. Maybe go out in the field with them. Find out what it is that they're doing. Right? You can match up for individual appointment or as a trainer. Match up in the base shop, then super base, and super team. The minimum goal is 3 recruits, 3 clients in the first 30 days. Trainer communicates with upline on progress and appointment. So guess what? So let's say Pavi says to me, Pavi says, hey, Dan, I want you to field train Edwin, all right, which is an honor. She gave me someone to field train. Well, I'm field training Edwin. It's my job to communicate with Pavi everything that I'm doing with Edwin. It's not Pavi's job to reach out to me to find out what I'm doing with Edwin. You follow me? So if I recruit someone and I say, Jen, I want you to field train that person, as you're field training that person, Jen, you need to be communicating with me everything that's going on with that person. So sometimes you're a field trainer and you're out there doing stuff, but you're not communicating with the upline of what you're doing. You got to learn how to communicate. The upline shouldn't be reaching out to you, be like, hey, where's this person, where's that person. All of that stuff is going on. What's that? Okay. Right. Leaders are compulsive communicators. You guys follow me on that? They're compulsive communicators. You follow me? They're compulsive communicators. They're constant communicators. Learn how to do that when you're field trading, because when you're building your big shop, you're always communicating. Upline, downline, here's what's going on. Boom, here's what we did. We were in the field, we wrote 3 apps, we got 5 referrals, we got a return interview, I got 5 guests coming, I got this. Boom, here's how many did it for an interview. You're constantly communicating. Cool? Okay. Okay, now, match up properly, setting good appointments across trainers. Only do unto others as you would like done unto you. MDs must control all appointments. Upline is checking calendars, see if anyone is and who's available trainers. MDs has more knowledge about trainers. Match weak trainers with strong trainers. Right? Some trainers are going to be stronger than others, so you might want to match up someone that's weak with someone that's strong. Follow me? So they can learn from each other. Do unto others as you would like them done to you. Okay? Here's the thing, you guys. That's another law. It's another law. Whatever you do to your leader, your team will turn around and do to you. Whatever you do to your leader, your team is constantly watching you. You're on the line, your team will be on the line. You talk junk about your leader, your team will eventually talk junk about you. Follow me on that? But whatever you don't want people to do to you, don't do to others. Human nature. Let's go. Developing independent associates. Create a correct matchup. Get rid of an all selfish mentality. Create momentum for the team. We talked about momentum, creating momentum. Share the wealth of the team. Have everyone sell and share with the rest. Don't have this mother hen effect where you're just thinking about yourself and you're using your team to get results for personal gain. People know when they're being used. You guys follow me on that? Always have your intention in the right place. MDs can pinpoint where the problems are. MDs can give you feedback, whether it can be at home or at the office. Husband and wife must be at the sale. Next. Now, the Texans. Remember we talked about the 3-way Texans, right? How can you leverage that? How can you leverage that in your business right now, right? How you doing? I want to introduce you to my friend and financial coach, Joseph Mbachaba. I copied him on this text. I believe you would love meeting with him. I'm really impressed with it. I'm really impressed with this. They take a low-key educational approach, and I trust them. They're doing things I wish I would have known about years earlier, even things that most of us are not privy to, things the wealthy enjoy and participate in. I loved the experience and felt comfortable by sitting down for a free consultation in my home and implementing my game plan with the leader. He works on your schedule and it's a very casual experience. If you're interested in moving forward, I hope that you two can connect and speak. Take care. Move. Right? So that can be a campaign that you're doing. You follow me? You can do a campaign with your clients. Now, when you get referrals, boom, you already have this saved on your notes, right? You've got the people that you're referring to, you got their phone number, and then you just do an open campaign. Right? I like text. It's quick. It's to the point. Boom, they can text me back, and I can set up an appointment. You guys follow me on that? Leverage that. It's 2020. That makes sense? It's 2020. People want things that are very, very fast. All right? Next one. Recruit a client. Hello, Joseph. How you doing? I wanted to introduce you to my friend and financial coach, Bashaba. I've copied her on this tag. I believe that you would love meeting with him for 2 reasons. 1, possible career opportunity for you. 2, help you build your financial future wealth. Leader mentioned, Joseph mentioned some major expansion plans for this company, and he said he was looking for qualified candidates. I immediately thought of you based on your hard work and ethic, integrity, and entrepreneurial mindset. I believe this might be a good career choice for you. Additionally, the financial guidance plan I implemented through Leader has me very excited. I'm really impressed with this. They take a low-key educational approach, and I trust them. They're doing things I wish I would have known about years earlier. I hope the 2 of you can speak and talk regarding the items before. You guys follow me on that? That's a very low-key. I got to worry about the someone telling me no, someone giving me rejection. Boom, it's a very low-key approach. You can save that on your notes, and boom, you got the text and system down. Doesn't mean that you're not going to make calls. Doesn't mean that you don't prospect. This is in addition to everything that we're doing. You guys follow me on that? Next. Referral, email, and text. Dear client, I just want to send you some ideas of what you could say, email, or even mention to friends of yours that you refer me to. If anything, I can call them and let them know your experience with us and that you enjoyed it and wanted me to call them. Whatever works for you. Here's what one of my clients said to his friend via email. Always best to individualize an email if you're sending that way. I wouldn't suggest a blast email. If you can speak in person, I'll put bullet points below. Next. Hello, referral. How you doing? Client, want to introduce me to you. I'm their friend and financial coach. Leader's name. I've copied them on this text. They really want me to reach out to you. Client, John, we're really impressed with the game plan we put together for them. I take a low-key educational approach, and they trust me to reach out to you. I was able to help them do things that they wish they would have known about years earlier, even things that most of us are not privy to, things the wealthy enjoy and participate in. They loved the experience and felt you would love the same free consultation with me. I do hope we can meet and see how I can help. Take care. Boom. You guys have so much in your arsenal right now. With the campaign manager and all this stuff, you can run campaigns like it was yesterday. You guys like that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, next. Email example from client. Chris, it was great seeing you this weekend, and thanks for hanging out. During the party, we talked about some financial adjustments that I've made recently for the family, retirement, education, emergency fund. With that said, I wanted to introduce you, Leader from Transamerica. I've built a really good friendship and working relationship with them. I'm really impressed with this. They take a low-key educational approach, and I trust them. They're doing things I wish I would have known about years earlier. Even things that most of us are not privy to. Things the wealthy enjoy and participate in. When I was investigating the team, I found the following touch point that made me feel comfortable about sitting down for a free consultation in my home. Transamerica Financial Advisors help families become financially independent. Helps the 99% of us, rest of the financial industry isn't willing to help. Teaches people on how to build wealth and achieve their dream. He works on your schedule, and it's a very casual experience. If you're interested in moving forward, would it be okay if I have a leader give you a call? I know you'll enjoy the process as much as I did. All this stuff is already done. All you guys do is take massive out. See how basic this is? It's a 1, 2, 3 punch. Next. Speaking in person using bullet points or just speak from the heart. I built a really good friendship and working relationship with Bobby. I'm really impressed with this. She takes a low-key educational approach, and I trust her. She's doing things I wish I'd known about years earlier, even things that most of us are not privy to, things the wealthy enjoy and participate in it. If I had met Bobby 3 years ago, I would have made a world of it. It would have made a world of a difference for me financially. Follow me on that? No way. All this time, I didn't realize how easy it was.
Yes, wait.
Wow. Okay, next. Speaking in person, Transamerica Financial Coaching. Help families become financially independent, helps the 99% of the rest of the financial industry is willing to help, teaches people how to build wealth to achieve their dream. help ensure no family is left behind, even if they have an advisor already. Let them know I'm not there to replace the advisor, but to enhance the areas that the advisor hasn't looked at yet. That good or what?
Okay.
What's that?
Want to be in the new BFS?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
pretty cool, huh? Next one. Good quality recruit, three-way tag. Hello, prospect. I want to reach out to you and let you know I'm working with a new firm that is making huge financial difference in America today. I overheard the CEO discussing some major expansion plans for the company. I immediately thought of you, and I have copied of the CEO on this text. Who's the CEO? Anyone? Got it? You're in CEO in the making. Because you have a CEO plan to focus. Follow me? I immediately thought, what does it, why do I say all of you in here are CEO? You know what the CEO stands for? What was that? Chief Encouraging Officer. Follow me on that? That's why all of you are CEO. So you're not lying. You're the Chief Encouraging Officer. Okay? I immediately thought of you. I had copied the CEO on this text. Leader and told him about your background. I mentioned to him about your integrity, hard work ethic, and positive mindset. I'm not sure you'll be a fit for us or vice versa, but I figured I would introduce the two of you via text. I hope the two of you can speak and talk. Cool. That cool stuff?
Very.
Now you can figure out how you can do 117 and 3330 with your new recruit really fast. Because some of you, the reason that you can't do the 117 3330 is because you're afraid of call. How you can do Texas, right? Take more action right from the beginning. Next. All right. Okay. So let's do. What time is it? 12:30. Right on time. Okay. So let's do review. Okay, let's do review. Okay. So what did we cover today? Let's go to first thing we covered. What's that?
4 areas of effectiveness.
The 4 areas of effectiveness. We covered that. We covered prospecting. We covered we covered a lot of the psychology of it. What's that? The law of momentum. What's that? Get intimate with the prospect. Making the decision. Planting the seed.
High performance, low maintenance.
What's that?
High performance, low maintenance.
Low relationship. Creating momentum. Your reticular activator. The what? Reward associated with recruiting. What's that? Submitting to the system. Create a sense of urgency. Law of giving and receiving. Sell yourself, not the product. Okay, she said she likes defusing a situation. Right? I had someone tell me the other day. I said, have you heard of WFG? Yes, I have. Did you hear from it from a winner or a loser? Did you hear from it from a winner or a quitter? They said, oh yeah, the guy quit. I said, now you get a chance to talk to him. You guys follow me on that? So I got this thing on my phone now. Everybody that's ever quit on me, I changed their name on my phone and it says quitter. So when they call me, I says, hey, quitter. Oh no, this is Jake. Oh my bless that. I'm just kidding. Right. What else? Tap rooting. Remember how we went over tap rooting with Javi's deal right there, right?
When you first show the system.
Go fishing with a huge net.
Go fishing with a huge net. Okay, use that. And what were you saying, Franklin?
Putting pressure on the system.
Putting pressure on the system.
When your business
What's
gets
that?
noisy, keep your head down.
Recruit to a vision.
Yes, sir.
Match up. High performance, low maintenance. Look for everyone like they're looking for the outcome.
Be intentional on the geometric progression.
Be intentional with the geometric progression.
So select your catalyst.
Don't select your catalyst too quickly. Leaders are compulsive communicators.
Build it 3 times.
I'm looking for people that are looking for me. How simple is that? How can I help? Now, what's that? Recruiting is not addition, it's multiplication. Don't be interesting, be interested. No way. So no way concept.
You go, teacher.
Be a strategic, be a pro.
3 lines on your forehead equals trustworthy.
But your reticular activator knows what it means. Okay? Great recruiters, effective people always operate from a neutral position. Neutral?
Unattached.
Because I'm unattached. Because sometimes it's like, right? Or you're too laid back. You find me, you're very neutral. Right? Because it's either you or your market. It's either going to be you or you're going to introduce me. So, right, so, yeah, so when I met with the guy, David, that introduced me to Bachava, it was more important for me to build a relationship with him, because if he wasn't interested in the opportunity, we still have a connection, because he's the source that would introduce me to them.
Right, so
Versus
Jack
blowing them out.
texted me, and I told her the answer, I mentioned your name. She said, hey, not to mention, you're not a good example. I told her, wait, and we talked.
Okay. Be a giver, and be a great receiver. Some of us have really blocking at receiving, right? The other day, we were in Maryland, and we had a group of MDs that wanted to meet with us after the gala at the event there, and we were in the cigar bar in Maryland till like 2:30 in the morning, going over stuff. They were asking, they were pretty fired up and everything. And then Sophia and I are walking out the bar like at 2:30 in the morning, and as soon as we take the first step out, there's like $600 on the floor. So of course, she runs, I run, I grab, she grabs, she goes, how much you got? I said, I got 200. She's like, I got 4. Right? And we're like, oh my God, the universe is so funny. Follow me on that? And sometimes when I'm walking with my son, especially my son, Preston, I see a penny, grab a penny, I'm like, oh, money comes to me all the time. He's like, Dad, it's only a penny. I said, hey, this penny can turn to a nickel can turn to a quarter can turn to 50 can turn to 75 can turn to $1. Right? Yeah. That's how it boils down. You guys follow me on that? But some of you, things are given to you. Someone gives you a compliment, someone says something nice to you, somebody be like, oh, no. And you just like, you block it all. You block your blessing. But you're the first one, you want to give, you want to help someone. In the minute that you need help for something, you're afraid to ask. Oh, I don't want to give you this. Oh my God, blah, 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 all this stuff. Follow me on that? So take time to learn those two. Sometimes it could be an ego, or it could be too much pride. I don't want to accept anything because that means that I'm going to have to get you something. You don't have to ask me. You know, you get into all that. Ain't that serious? You guys follow me on that? Okay. Well, what else? The fundamentals. I want you to write this down. Our business is about the same. It's not about saying new things to old people. Our business is about saying the same thing, but to new people. Here's what that means. 90% of what I said today, I might have said it in a different story. I might have found a different way to say it. But it shouldn't have been the first time that you heard it. But for a lot of people in here, it was the first time that they heard it. Those of you that are sitting here, you go, oh my God, I know what Dan's going to say. Oh, I heard that story, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? What you should be thinking about, oh my God, I have 30 people in here that needs to hear that story. You guys follow me on that? So it's understanding all these fundamental things, right? The game of football never changes. The fundamentals are fundamental. Basketball, the fundamentals of basketball always be fundamentals of basketball. The fundamentals of sports, it's always the fundamentals. We might find different ways. The fundamentals of our business, you have to learn the fundamentals of this business. It's not gonna be done overnight. You're gonna have to invest 10,000 hours to learn the fundamentals. But if you don't know the fundamentals of this business, right? Oh my God.
I saw her party and asked if she wants to go there. She's agent. She's sitting there crying.
Oh my God.
I knew that news came. I thought I told Melanie, can you ask her if she wants to go
I
there?
just watched them on the interview with LeBron. Huh? Yeah, he's got little kids. Here it is, you guys. You know, there is like time. Not wasting no one. 6. That's fine. All right. Okay, so we're good?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, thank you guys. Have a good one. Enjoy. Here's last thing. Here's how you say thank you. Take what you learned, implement, take massive immediate action, and let's have a huge Wednesday night and Saturday. Okay? All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.